I know. Yeah, and then he was like,
Great.
and now I have to go out of town. I was like, why didn't we just... It was like,
Great.
and now I have to go out of town. I was like,
It's cool though. I found some pretty funny songs for Miss All. It's cool though. I found some
They're all
pretty
weird.
funny songs for Miss All. You're weird.
You're weird. But they're good.
Thanks. I try.
Yeah, that weird science after like like all the heavy like DeMarcus music, and then it's like missile.
The DeMarcus music is Matt's fault. He sent some of it to me.
Jeez. Just
Man, I dig it.
want to be a happy-go-lucky character with nope, not a care in the world.
Aren't you the one with the spooky prophetic visions? How's that gonna work?
He's gonna get really drunk.
you know what's really funny? Is like, I actually didn't write any of those. That's all Garrett just improvising shit. He's like, yeah, guys, I've seen some shit. And it's just like, Garrett, your character was just super fucking high, dude.
Yeah. He's been living amongst his herb a little too long.
Do we have everybody? We're missing Matt.
Yeah, let me text him.
He's on the Foundry.
Matt is? Oh, then he must know that he's...
Oh, yeah. I think he does, like, Foundry on one computer and Discord on the other, so he's probably just setting that up.
Makes sense.
Buddy, you need to go lay down. You gotta stop wandering the house. Yeah, why don't you load out?
There he is. Okay, everybody, you ready to go?
Hell yes.
Yep.
Okay, so, last time we had to kind of speed things up because we had to get to Tim's fight, or Johoff's fight, and Tim had to get going, so we were just trying to make sure it all happened. So a few of the narrative things got a little bit lost in the shuffle, but that's fine. I was just figuring we could just do a little bit of a recap and a little bit of a retcon on a few things, and that should just kind of like help make everything smooth for this session. So, if you remember last time, you guys have been kind of trying to get to the bottom of this mystery concerning Miliardo and the murder of Aaron and the Arthur Lockwater and the missing Lockwater brothers. And while you've been working on this case, you've talked with Marin, you've talked with William Baudry, you've talked with Miliardo, and you've been trying to kind of piece together the story. You went to an armor shop where you met a man who told you that he's been making strange armor, expensive armor for the Leventhorpes for a long time, including one set of armor for an orc-sized person, which you guys have deduced might have been that armor you found in the orc encampment. You also... What did else you do? You went... Where all did you go? You went to that armor shop.
We talked to the guard captain.
Yeah, you talked to the guard captain who, right, expressed that you guys are a little bit, potentially... You guys are potential suspects in all of this, considering your proximity to a number of cult happenings, as well as your presence at the massacre at Port Tier, and a number of other incidents that kind of tie you to weird happenings in the city. But he has expressed that due to his connection with the guild, mainly his friendship to Ander, he has given you guys the benefit of the doubt and has kind of okayed your investigation into Miliardo's situation. That said, you guys had a fight that you had to make, Johoff's fight in the Brackish Inn, and you guys made your way there at about midday. This fight was originally planned for Leeward, and Leeward was supposed to fight Atalius, a guy who kind of had it out for Leeward ever since Leeward killed one of his friends in the sewers, unprovoked. Let it be official. And so Johoff went to fight Atalius, and since it was supposed to be a weaponed bout, Atalius fought with his daggers, and Johoff opted to just use his fists. Now for a little bit of retcon. When you guys entered the Brackish Inn, you noticed that there were a substantial number of people, a lot more than normal, and you got the feeling that this might be one of the biggest fights of the year, maybe in the last few years. Johoff returning to the pit, and Atalius, who's been kind of known as being pretty deadly, both kind of led to a pretty substantial bout. And Atalius, his anger towards your group made it an especially emotional thing. So there were a lot of people there, a lot of people betting, and Atalius had talked himself up a significant amount among the Crimson Rats and Bill Thorne, to the point where tens of thousands of gold were placed on this bet. Or were bet on this fight. And you saw this represented in the form of large chests in the center of the room that the mediator was standing around. Where is the mediator? Did I put him somewhere? Oh, there he is. So the mediator was standing around kind of this table where a large amount of chests had been sitting. And there were a number of people kind of standing around guarding it, waiting to see who won so he could start calculating the payout. The fight broke out between... any questions so far? Sorry.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, the fight broke out between Atalius and Johoff, and the fight seemed pretty one-sided at first. Atalius came out of the gate just hitting Johoff twice for critical damage, basically. Johoff struggled to recover and land any punches, and Atalius kind of used that gap in damage to mock Johoff. Who here has the highest passive perception?
Probably me, because my wisdom is highest.
Okay, what's your passive perception at?
Where would I find that on my sheet? I'm pretty sure it's just my wisdom plus my proficiency plus 10, right?
That sounds right.
So 18.
Yeah, mine's 17.
Okay, so that's fine. Was anybody, and I'm thinking kind of Damon, who mentioned that he was kind of on the lookout, but was anybody watching Atalius more than they were watching Johoff? Because I know some of you said you were focused on Johoff, who seemed to be struggling up there, and so in character it would make more sense that you were staring at him, who seemed to be bleeding pretty heavily. Was anybody watching Atalius?
I was watching if he was going to poison.
Okay, so make a perception roll for Vosner.
Alright, skills. Oh,
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay, so what I'll say is that moment where Atalius walked away from Johoff and did something in front of the crowd, you noticed him kind of getting them worked up, but at the same time he was doing something strange with his hands, and you don't know what, but you saw something happen.
Okay.
So the fight continued after that. Johoff chased after Atalius, blows were exchanged, and Vosner, make another perception check. Actually, somebody else who is maybe watching the fight closely.
I was watching it pretty closely.
Okay, DeMarcus, make a perception roll.
Okay. That's just the wisdom, right?
It's just perception. It's in your inventory or in your skills.
Oh.
Okay. So what you notice, and this is something you would probably notice as being a skilled fighter, something that Johoff wouldn't have noticed because he was bloodied and in the fray. You noticed that Atalius pulled his attacks in the last round. That when he went to hit Johoff, he only hit him lightly, not enough to hurt him.
Okay.
And so, now we pick up at the end of the fight. Atalius was beat unconscious and healed to half by Elvenor. Crimson Rats kind of came and helped Atalius to his feet and brought him over here where he is now. Johoff has been brought to you and healed up by the group, and Big Pete is ranting and raving about how much money Johoff just made him. What would you like to do?
Could I make a health check to see if there's like any residue on Johoff?
Yeah, that'd be a medicine.
Okay. I also have medicine kit. If that would do anything.
we'll say that I don't know exactly what that does. Maybe I think that's just to stabilize people. So for now,
Okay.
just roll medicine to see what you know. You look at his wounds, and you don't see anything affecting him. In fact, the healing that Isolde did seemed to undo a lot of the damage that was even done to his skin. A lot of his body is scarred up from previous battles where he wasn't healed up magically, and so between the scars and the healing Isolde did, he looks like right as rain.
I'm just saying, well, it looks like you're doing good. I thought he would try something funny.
And Big Pete looks at you and says, "What you talking about? He won the fight? Good as rain? Look at him. He's as healthy as he's ever been." And then he goes, I'm gonna go check on that gold and see what's going on with it. See if the count's wrong." And he walks over to the mediator where he's having a discussion about the count. So just a little bit of a retcon. You haven't been paid out yet. You basically won that amount, and you still have to talk with the mediator to get it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, anyone who's looking back at the room, just kind of scanning the room, you would notice, who would that be? Maybe Damon, because he's a little bit...
Yeah, that would be me.
DeMarcus is also... Go ahead, Damon, sorry.
Oh, Damon just doesn't like Crimson Rats, so he doesn't trust anybody in this room.
So Damon, who's been kind of scanning the room, not even paying much attention to the fight because he's been super anxious about being in here, notices Galen making eye contact with him and giving him kind of a, like, "Guys, gotta talk to us at some point," like the "come hither," but, you know, not sexual.
A little bit sexual, though, right?
A little, you catch like he's maybe into constructs.
Recognizing that maybe DeMarcus was kind of scanning the room too, I say to DeMarcus,
Marcus, do you see that individual giving us the eye?
Yes. It's a curious look. It's almost erotic.
Do you know this person?
Yes, he's a member of the guild. We should speak with him. Keep your eyes open, Damon. I think that something's going on. I whisper to Izzy really quickly, just so that she can hear. I say, keep your guard up. The fight was manipulated, and I think it was rigged, and there's too much money on the line. Be careful. And I walk over to the table.
Okay. Do you want me to drag you over there, or you got it?
Let's see. Where was he sitting? I'm trying to find him.
Up to the north there. Can you guys not see their names?
I can. It's just.
I can see
let's see. I had to change the. I was zoomed in. I was.
Oh.
Oh, is he up at the top one up here?
Yep. Yeah. So, as you walk over, Galen kind of like does a little bit like, all right, come closer, and he looks at you and says, "Hey, okay. I don't know if you saw that, but this fight was rigged."
Yeah, I saw it, and there's too much money on the line. I think we should get out.
He's like, I think I know who rigged it. Just hold on for a little bit. And
Say so. Well, I'll just follow your lead, I guess.
He says, you guys are gonna need to get ready to draw your weapons if this shit gets bloody. Meanwhile, Bradson, the bard sitting at the table, is like playing his guitar a little bit louder so that it covers up your voices, and he's singing a song about Johoff, the indestructible warrior, punching his way to victory. And Chuthra is humming along to it, kind of bobbing her head. She really enjoys the song.
Yeah, so I just kind of nod at Galen, and I walk back up to where everyone else is. And I put my hands... Johoff, are you not fully healed?
No, not quite.
Alright, so I put my hands on you, and I whisper to you, gonna have to get your strength back up, friend. The fight was well done, but I fear that it was rigged, and there may be an even larger fight in the room momentarily over the money. And I heal you for probably the rest of what you've got. I've got my whole healing pool. So
He's missing
I don't think you need that much heal.
28? Is that right?
Yeah, I've got that 35 total. So I heal you for 28. And then I tell you to pass the word on down the line to Taryn and Vosner quietly.
Okay,
I
for
look at
John,
Damon and I say, be ready for anything, Damon.
John, do I need to really add the health to Johoff?
Oh, I'll do it for you.
Thank you. Yeah, Johoff is still kind of dazed and exhausted a little bit from what just happened, but he kind of leans over and mumbles to Taryn that DeMarcus says to be ready for anything.
Taryn kind of nods, but he seems distracted and not very committed to what's going on.
Damon is looking for any and all means of egress.
Yeah. Oh, like getting out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as you know, there are only two exits. One straight to the north where you came in, that connects up to the sewers that will lead you back to the Lee Wind. And then one to the right here, which leads you to the mediator's office, and then into the sewers, another set of sewers that leads kind of towards Old Town where the Crimson Rats are located. That's the one you came through originally when you left this place. But those are the only two exits, you know.
I'm walking up to Izzy really quick, and I'm just gonna stand next to her and observe.
Okay.
Yeah,
As you-
when DeMarcus first warned me that there was like too much money on the line and things were rigged, I started kind of hovering, not super close, but close to Big Pete so that I could overhear what's going on between him and the mediator.
Yeah. So the mediator is like frantically like going over the notes, going over the amounts, trying to figure out. Hold on. Sorry, Jojen is like putting his head through blinds. It's cute, but it's dangerous. Okay. So
You have so much to live for.
the mediator checks his account and he turns to this Crimson Rat next to him And he goes, 15,000 gold? It's a little steep for a member of the Crimson Rats. And you see him kind of like under his hood, just like, yep, well, I inherited a lot of money, just put it in the... I won it fair and square. And Big Pete is going, what kind of man votes against his own kind? And there's just kind of like this exchange. And do you guys say anything?
I'm not gonna interject, but I'll just kind of exchange looks with DeMarcus, like this is gonna fuck some shit up.
Yeah, I'm not interfering.
Okay.
Vosner is too far away. But he's seeing a shift in the room. And so he's just sort of preparing himself.
Did I notice Italius moving towards that door?
Yeah, with your high enough perception. You watched him walk to the door and open it and start walking through it.
But we have no way of knowing if that is an exit or if that just goes in deeper, right?
No, you know that's technically the path kind of towards the Crimson Rats domain.
I'm gonna give DeMarcus like a quick elbow and point it out as it happens.
And Galen walks over to the mediator and says, there's a reason why this man has a lot more money than standard Crimson Rat. And the mediator looks at him, and the Crimson Rat guy kind of backs up and looks kind of anxious and starts to head towards the door. When he does, the mediator yells out, stop him. And these Crimson Rats stand in front and bar the way. And he says, take off your hood. And the guy takes off his hood and reveals the face of a very young nobleman.
Oh shit.
I knew it, motherfuckers.
And soon enough, a Crimson Rat bandit comes pushing Italius back out the door, and the two of them stand next to each other. And the mediator goes, who are you? And what are you doing betting 15,000 gold against Italius? And there's like a total hush over the room. And he says, my name is Joel Lockwater. And I was just trying to make a little bit of money. I'm sorry if I offended you. Please let me go. And Italius turns to him and just says, you're an idiot. And the whole room is just like dead silent. Do you guys do anything?
I slowly stand up and just start to ready myself. I'm looking through my spells. I wanted to do.
Bill Thorne comes up and walks up to Italius and says, you were working with them the whole time? What was this? Is this all a fixed game? You lost me a lot of money, Italius. And Italius looks to him and says, fuck you. And goes to pull out his daggers. And as he does, Bill Thorne laughs and says, you're a little bit outnumbered here, friend. And as soon as he does that, you guys hear a clapping from the back of the room. Pause for dramatic effect.
back of the room. Which back of the room? The one by the pit, or
The north.
okay?
And there's a clapping.
Coming from where?
The north of the room. Out of the shadows of the northern portion of the room, a few figures appear. And it destroys my screen? What the fuck? Can you guys
I
see?
can see him. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You broke up there for me really quick, John. What appears?
A few figures.
Okay.
A man in a hood, still clapping, walks over and says, "You always were an idiot." And just like slaps this young guy across the face. And he says, "No one has to die. I'm only here for the construct." And he points his finger at Damon.
Oh shit.
And Bill Thorne looks at Atalius and looks at this hooded figure and says, "You're working with Peter Lockwater, that cultish freak?" And he said, "We're all working with Peter Lockwater." And all the Crimson Rats who are around start showing their wrists, and each wrist shows a mark of Cyric on it. And the mediator starts backing up, kind of standing with the silver crabs, and he's saying, "This doesn't need to be a fight. This is the place of peace. This is a safe zone." And Peter says, "Yes, but only if you give us the construct." And his finger is still outstretched towards Damon.
Nope.
Yeah, can we like fucking roll initiative to kill these fuckers?
Okay. Are you guys just drawing weapons?
I mean, yeah, if they're gonna demand Damon, I would have my holy symbol ready.
And Galen, who's standing next to Peter, kind of like looks over at him. And looks over at you guys. And Peter says, "Be quick." And he hits Galen with 2 attacks.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Oh, he hits. Sorry, the mediator was there too. So he swipes his hand. So Peter is like a human-looking person with a shaved head, wearing a hood. But when he reaches his arm to strike Galen and the mediator all in one fell swoop, his hand seems to elongate into this like long bony claw that rips into their flesh and like tears them apart. Galen is just like covered in his own blood, and Chuthra jumps up, and Bradson also stops playing music, and he says again, "You'll all die unless you give me the construct." And Big Pete is kind of starting to back up, like he doesn't think this is a winnable fight. Bill Thorne is also starting to kind of back away from the Crimson Rats. And I guess this is maybe a time to ask individually, like, how does Johoff respond to this?
Joe is still kind of dazed from the fight, but he gets the sense that this party around him is starting to ready to fight, and he's sort of stumbling to his feet, getting ready to go at it again, if that's what they're going to do.
Okay.
Vosner is already thinking of what he wants to do. And I'm looking at something. I don't have that card with me. Yeah, he's just thinking of his tactical moves at the moment.
Yeah, while Vosner is doing that, John, once DeMarcus sees Peter do that, DeMarcus is going to immediately use his divine sense.
Okay.
So he's going to he'll basically know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet, and what type it is if there is one.
Yeah. Peter Lockwater is undead.
Okay.
Are there crumbs or clues to who could have raised him?
No. But as soon as this is happening, you see Joel Lockwater walk up to his brother and say, "Just don't hurt any of them." "Yeah, I don't even know how you're here. I saw you die." And he turns to his brother and he says, "Have a little faith." And he hits his brother. And kills him in one strike.
Oh my god.
And then he starts walking over past, and he comes up to DeMarcus and he eyeballs you as he's walking past and starts walking towards Damon. And none of the silver crabs are doing anything. Cass and Big Pete kind of step to the side.
Alright, I'm going to cast...
Hang on. Damon is gonna, approach.
Okay.
Before anybody can, start a fight in earnest. And he's gonna say, "If I go with you willingly, you promise everyone will live."
Everyone.
What proof can you offer?
None.
Very well.
Doesn't mean we're gonna let them go.
And
David, you're one of us.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm going to start walking towards Peter and then keep moving up towards the north of the room.
With him or what?
I'm gonna assume he's gonna keep moving with me, so I'm gonna just sort of confidently keep walking past.
Yeah. He's gonna follow you.
Can I tell?
Yeah,
can I roll
whispered
an
to
insight
Izzy-
check?
I whispered to Izzy that he's an undead.
Okay, can I roll an insight check on Damon? I know he's a robot, but could I don't know, tell from his body language or something if he is planning something or if this is an actual resignation of effort?
I guess I probably couldn't, especially given that he's a construct, be able to just glean that information.
If you look really closely and your perception is good, you might see that I'm doing something with my hands.
Okay. Should I roll a perception check or insight to do that then?
Yep.
Which do you prefer, John?
Do insight. Yeah, I'll allow it, I guess. I don't know. It's a little bit weird, but sure.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just kind of put a hand on DeMarcus's arm and be like, "He is undead. Yes, I think Damon is going to try to take care of it on his own, but we should be ready."
Marcus is sort of frozen. You hear him utter a prayer, and it's in casting protection from good and evil on himself.
Okay.
Damon, as he's moving, is also scanning the room, trying to size up as many of the people as he can and determine, who is with Peter and who
Yeah.
should fight back.
So based off the reveal of the Cyric, the cult of Cyric, like, emblems scarred into the wrists of some of the Crimson Rat bandits, you get the feeling that basically everyone that's a Crimson Rat bandit, that's that dark figure, I don't know if you guys can see the names, with the black hood, any black hooded person in this room is against you guys. The only potential allies you have are the Silver Crabs, the Mediator, Big Pete, Cass, and you don't know about Bill Thorne or Zert. Ooh, I don't know if you
And the
guys can
silver
see
crabs are the ones over by Cass.
Yeah, there are 4 of them.
Can I cast a spell?
You can, depending on the spell, it will trigger something.
It's Beacon of Hope.
Yeah, I feel like that would trigger something. Because casting spells is like loud.
Okay, I'll wait then.
Yeah. And he keeps walking Damon out of the room.
Damon stops right here,
Okay.
and he's going to cast Fear in
Oh, you cut out there.
towards this crowd of Crimson Rats.
Okay. Did I move you too far? Do you want to be back somewhere?
Yeah, that's where I would stop.
Okay. So, how's fear work?
Every creature in a 30-foot cone must succeed a wisdom saving roll or drop whatever it's holding and become frightened. And then they have to take the dash action and move away from me by the safest available route, unless there's nowhere to move.
Okay. So, yeah, go for it. Okay, so Galen succeeds. The noble fails, but he's dead. The Shadowblade here succeeds, but this one fails, and like basically runs into the corner. As soon as you do that, the whole room erupts with swords being drawn and attacks being handed out. But as you do that, Johoff, make a Constitution saving throw. Wow. Make a second Constitution saving throw.
Oh, God.
Make
Oh my God.
a third Constitution saving throw.
We could just have whatever you want to happen happen. We don't.
No. It's exactly 4. You were hit 4 times in that fight. Take 31 damage.
Holy shit.
Alright, let me pull up my sheet.
As Johoff stands up, deep inside his body, a whole bunch of shit just goes wrong. And he can feel like his organs just like ripping apart. And it is the most intense pain that he's ever felt. Make a 4th and final Constitution saving throw. Oh my god!
Where did these
Thank
rolls
God.
out into a fight, man? Jeez.
The DC, for the record, is a 19. A 19! And you have a +2, and you succeeded 3 of the 4.
I'm a hardy boy.
Legend.
It's that ale we got you.
Okay, so your insides are still like completely trashed, and you are now poisoned. But you somehow survive the goodbye kiss from Atalius. I guess we'll
I'm
say.
going to make a series of rude gestures at Atalius.
Okay. And
While bent over double and like screaming in pain. Just like making rude gestures at Atalius.
okay, so that was fucking incredible. Okay, so that happens at exactly the same time that that Damon, in like a moment of well, how about you describe it, Damon? What happens when you do fear?
Damon is waiting until he feels like he can hit the right amount of people, and then just like in a very low computery voice, he just goes fear, and then like launches these rays out from his palms in the direction I chose.
Okay.
And is just gonna try and like make some chaos to try and like create an opportunity to not fight to win, but fight to get out.
Okay. So let's select 1,000,000 people and start the fight. Oh, okay. One narrative thing. Bill Thorne, seeing this happen, jumps on the table, lets out like this super intense scream that slowly morphs into a roar. And turns into a fucking were-tiger.
What?
Vosner is colored impressed.
Amazing.
Okay, now it's time to
Okay.
fight.
Right in my notebook, Bill Thorne is a were-tiger.
Among other things, probably.
Clearly.
Yeah. Initiative rolls, I suppose.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And, oh, I forgot to roll initiative. That would help.
Okay. So, the first one to go is this Crimson Rat who runs towards Isolde.
But
Fuck.
And swings at her twice, missing. Johoff, you are up.
Well, I don't feel great, but
would be worse.
it was it's true. It was the guy just to the south and east of Isolde that attacked her.
Yes, southeast, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go for him.
Okay. So, with the poison condition, you have disadvantage on all attacks.
Yeah. I don't even know if Joe-Off really understands what's happening right now anyway.
Yeah. He did just survive Miracle.
No.
Oh,
Oh my god, you rolled another 20?
what the fuck, Tim? Tim downloaded hacks in between games.
Yeah, but it
Blood
did
Pit is his
roll with
favorite terrain.
it did roll with disadvantage though.
So here's what we'll do. We will say that you rolled 2 hits. Statistically, you're probably going to hit him, so we'll just give you the crit, but I'm going to take away your second attack. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, that seems fair. I need to figure out. I thought this bar across the top, if I clicked the unarmed strike, it would give me the option of doing it. But doing it with disadvantage? But do I have to pull it up off my character sheet for that to happen?
No, if you in your inventory, if you click unarmed strike as a weapon, and then like not the little dice, but just the words, it'll give you a little drop down, and you can click standard roll, I think,
Okay.
and then it'll bring up this little thing, and then you can click attack.
But I have to do it out of my inventory, not off that bar.
Oh,
across the
yeah,
top.
I believe so.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I just did that for you. Hope I wasn't targeting anything. Probably not. Alright.
All right, cool.
Okay. Do you want to use key points or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
And let's see, we'll get it right this time. Okay, there we go. That was a whole thing.
Okay, that hits.
Does it kill him?
Well, you didn't roll damage, but technically, yes.
Oh, I see. I have to. Yeah, it doesn't do it.
Yep, cool. So you kill him. So you basically, he starts unloading on Isolde, and you run behind and just like KO him in 2 punches.
Yeah. Me
Fucking
like it.
cool.
And then because I'm pretty fucked up and probably like struggling to even stand up straight, I am gonna take like a few steps back, maybe move behind this table.
Yeah, okay.
Oops. Why? Oh, okay. That was more than I wanted. All right. I think that's probably it for me.
Okay. Big Pete is up next, and Big Pete pulls out a very large spear that he's got on his back. I don't know why I haven't noted that he's got a giant spear with him at all times, but he does. We'll say he fucking pulls it off the weapon rack that was offered to you, and looks at you and says, I hope you've got it in you for a second one. And he runs towards this guy.
Oh shit.
And attacks. And completely whiffs. Swings a second time and whiffs as well. Peter Lockwater sidesteps both swings deftly without any problem. Cass is up next. Seeing that her leader has run into battle, she runs over here, kind of hops off the wall all ninja-like, and goes after this Shadowblade. And she comes swinging her long sword twice and then a short sword in her offhand once. And some blows connect, but it's not super effective. And it is Peter's turn. He, seeing Big Pete run at him, dodging deftly the spear attacks, sets his focus on him. And one hit whiffs, whereas the other totally hits him hard. And the claw, like the bony fingers, stretch out of his elongated hand and like tear Big Pete across the face, like shooting blood all over the room. And he is going to use his ability to blink to a shadow behind him. And it is Terran's turn.
Alright, so first I'm gonna walk towards Italius.
Okay.
Then Terran pulls out his wand. It's kind of snarls and his eyes go like solid, like sickly green. And I cast Blight on Italius.
Ooh. Okay, roll it.
Oh shit! Did you just do that right in front of me?
Dope.
Make sure you target him. Oh, wow. So, describe how that works. Like how that looks. He saves, and doesn't die, but it hits him like a truck.
So Terran's eyes go green, and he snarls and points his wand, and like a single like filament of like reddish black energy just kind of goes and touches Talius, and then just like explodes all over him, like dissolving his like chest and neck areas.
Oh, fuck. He, like, tosses, like, one of his swords drops, and he's, like, holding his face, which is now just, like, covered in, like, burning, gross, necrotic energy. Awesome. Is that your turn?
And that's my turn.
Zolda.
Can I get a quick moment of clarification if Joel is straight up dead, or like if you act soon enough, you could save him?
I'm gonna say, even though that would require a medicine check to see like if he's dead or revivable, the hit him so hard that you heard like his spine crumple.
Okay.
So like you might be able to resurrect him, or bring it. Might be able to resurrect him. You might be able to heal him, but if you did, he'd be like straight up paralyzed. So it'd be a hard one to tell.
Okay. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna cast Warding Bond to activate the ring that Johoff still has.
Oh fuck! You guys could have been using that in the ring.
He told me not to interfere.
I know, that would have been some fucking dope shit though. Like Azolda slowly taking damage in the side, like, oh, don't worry about it.
Yep. And then I'm going to just step. No, I'm gonna stay where I am next to DeMarcus. So that's the end of my turn.
Okay. It is Atalius's turn, and he is going to come over here. He's going to use the disengage. He's going to grab a chest of gold, and he is going to try to run for the door.
Oh, fuck.
It is a silver crab's turn. And he whiffs at the Cyric Shadowblade twice. It's another silver crab's turn. He's going to run up here and fight one of these bandits. And he hits him twice with his mace. Bandit is going to attack Bradson. This bandit is going to... well... I guess he's going to go after Galen. Oof. Just got lag. You guys good?
Yep.
The noble is dead. Mediator. God damn. Like a little laggy. Is going to like pull back and just like kind of stand back. He's pretty hurt. The Shadowblade is going to go after Big Pete. Actually, he's going to go after Cass. And he cuts into her twice. with his necrotic Shadow Blade. And next one. This is the one that was feared by Damon, who ran into the corner. How long does that fear last?
It lasts. Hang on. The creature ends its turn in a location where it doesn't have line of sight of you. The creature can make a wisdom saving throw. On a successful save, the spell ends for that creature. Otherwise, it's just concentration up to 1 minute.
I think a 13 fails, right?
It does.
Okay, yeah, he remains afraid. On Bradson's turn, he is going to cast invisibility on himself. The invisibility attack roll, I don't know what that means, but it's very effective. Bradson is now invisible.
Aggressively invisible.
Yeah, he's 11 points of whatever, invisible. This guy's gonna run over to Isolde. And hits her once. This Shadow Blade is gonna go up to Galen. And actually, he's gonna go up to Damon. And he's just like swinging all of his fury at Damon, who's just to let out this erupting scream into the group, sending everybody afraid. And he, most of his attacks just like bounce right off your like metal exterior, but one does pierce through, and some of the necrotic energy like goes into your core area.
Damon reacts with shield.
Oh shit, yeah. But then like it gets repulsed slightly. Here, let me undo it.
Out of curiosity, John, why did those attacks also hit Galen?
Because I'm a bad DM.
Cool.
Cool.
First step is admitting. How many steps are in this process? 12? 14? Oh, but...
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I had both of them targeted. Crimson Rat Bandit is going to see if he can be unfeared. And he is no longer afeared, but I think that's the end of his turn. DeMarcus, you're up.
Okay, can I... So I was the whole time just, like, staring at Peter, and I saw him attack, and then I'm not even, like, kind of, like, in a psychological space where I'm paying attention to the fact that there's a bunch of people attacking us from the right flank. And then I see Peter blink away, and I just, like, scream in frustration. Can I see where he went at all, or is he behind that thing in shadow?
He's kind of hidden in shadow. You would have to, like, look for him to find him.
Yeah, look for him. Yeah, no, I'm gonna assume that he just went wherever the fuck. And then as soon as he disappears, all I see is that Syriac Shadow Blade to the left of him. And
Okay.
I just, like, scream, and I run right next to Big Pete. And so because I've fought the Syriac Shadow Blades before, they kick the
Yeah.
shit out of me. Do I know if they're like undead, like you're
No.
like aberrational or
No,
undead or
they're
anything?
humanoid.
Just kinda
They're
straight
just
up?
cultists.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm going to attack him, and then how do I select a target, John? I've actually barely...
Alt left
Okay,
click.
what is it? Alt left, okay. Did that work?
Here you go.
Okay, that worked. All right, so as I run up to him, I utter a vow of enmity toward him.
Okay. Giving
You know
yourself
that works, right?
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in your character sheet, make sure you equip the Vow of Enmity buff on yourself so that you have advantage on your attacks. should be under tools.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. And I'm going to swing at him. I know they have crazy high AC from last time, so I'm not gonna big swing. Let's see. Oh, okay. My maul is not working. Hang on, John, there might be a technical issue here. Let me try a second way to do this.
There it is.
All right, that worked. Okay, and then...
So that hits. So roll damage. Not sure why I didn't roll damage, but...
Yeah, I'm rolling it from inside my character sheet right now because on the macro bar it was like there was an error, it didn't work.
Okay. Were you doing big swing or regular?
No, not big swing because I know they have stupid high AC.
Right, got it. Though you do have advantage, so it's pretty muted, but... Okay. So you come charging at him and vow him of enmity him, which is your bonus action, I guess, and then you hit him with your maul, the key, and it just like slams into his shoulder, and like he kind of like recoils a little bit as you hit him.
Okay. I'm just double. I think all those numbers look right. 2d6.
Yeah.
Freeze that also. Okay, cool, awesome. Thanks, man.
Are you gonna use your second attack?
Yeah, so I'll do a second attack on him. Same thing. I'm going to actually hit him with a Divine Smite this time as well.
Okay. Well, you don't have to call that ahead of time. You can call that when you hit him.
Okay.
And I also recommend using the big swing if you've got Vow of Enmity on him, because it's a pretty good buff. But
so
it's your
I'll
call.
do big swing. When the DM suggests, we must comply.
Down with the gods.
You bite your tongue.
Big swing, advantage.
Yeah, that hits.
Damage.
Yeah.
And,
So
so we're gonna add. I'm gonna cast the Divine Smite at a second level, John. So it's
Okay.
gonna add 3d8 radiant. How do I type that in? What's the actual?
oh, did I? Fuck! Did I add a smite thing for you? I told you I was gonna give you one, and then I didn't do it. I have it somewhere.
Broken promises. There's a way to type in just a straight up like 3d8 roll, though, right?
I have it somewhere. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Let's see. I do have a smite option here. Let me see what happens when I hit it. Oh yeah, I think you might have done this. You might have done this, John. Of course you did this. Spell slot level second. All right, there we go.
Oh fuck yeah,
You
I
did
did. Sweet.
Hey, you did.
All right, yeah. So you hit this guy like a fucking truck. You come like rolling at him, and I think between all those hits, you hit him for what? 24 plus 17 plus the 14 from before. So you hit him for like 60 damage all in one turn. DeMarcus is real strong. Okay, Cult Fanatic's turn. He is going to cast Hold Person on Jutra.
Pulse Fanatic?
Yes.
Which one is that one? The skeleton-looking guys?
The guy up north, yeah, with the skeleton head. Skeleton face. Well, fuck, she didn't roll a save. Alright. And she is held. Not that, but whatever. Okay. Damon, it is your turn.
Was I able to track where Peter blinked to?
Yeah, you saw it, because you can still see within the shadow there.
Cool. Then Damon is going to use a bonus action to Misty Step over there.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. That's totally what I wanted to do, Damon, but then he blinked away.
You have Misty Step?
I don't know, I got a lot of stuff. You guys will find out a lot of things about DeMarcus. You should ask him more questions.
And you hear this like weird electronic techno buzzing that like reverberates in the hall, and then I poof right next to him
Yes.
with my
Dope.
greatsword, and I speak its name, Inferno, and
Yeah,
I
it's so
swing it in
awesome.
with both hands.
Sweet. Oh, fuck. You were targeting a bunch of people.
Yeah, let me.
Luckily, you missed
Come on.
all of them, so I don't have to undo the damage. But that's fine. We'll have you retarget and do it again.
So I swing at him.
Wait, you gave yourself disadvantage?
Not intentionally. I just clicked my macro button.
Strange. Well, the last time it didn't go disadvantage. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm going to use my action search to swing again.
Yeah, well, why don't you just swing again and see what happens? I don't know why it gave you disadvantage on that.
Alright.
Yeah, it gave you disadvantage again. Am I missing something?
It doesn't look like it gave me disadvantage on my end for that most recent one.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't. You're right, you're right. Okay, so...
I just rolled terribly.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you missed? God damn,
And-
you really did roll. You rolled a 2.
Yeah. Do I still get my action search, or was that my action search?
So it's... Yeah, you can use action search.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna swing again.
Yeah. So you hit him, and it's like cuts into him pretty hard. But he looks so much stronger than you thought. He was like this kind of bald-looking humanoid person, and all you'd really seen is this strange skeletal hand. But when you strike him, you get the feeling that like he is unnaturally super strong. Is that your
That's
turn?
it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is Galen's turn. And he is going to use his short sword on this guy. And that is... He's going to use his evasion to hide. Or to he's just gonna dodge, cunning action dodge. Whatever that is. Okay. Or disengage. It is now Bill Thorne's turn. Standing on the table, drawing a bow. He is going to shoot at I guess he's gonna like kind of from this angle. The door is open. Oh fuck, I killed it. I opened a door and my whole screen went black. Okay, I'm just gonna restart.
Okey-doke.
You guys are gonna have to restart in a second once I reconnect. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Do I need to do anything, John? It said server connection reestablished.
Yeah, I think you still need to restart. I know it said that, but
Gotcha.
Yeah, it won't let you click tokens after it restarts and stuff.
well, actually, I don't know. It didn't have a problem on my streaming computer or streaming thing, but not quite sure. But basically, Bill Thorne is going to shoot a shot down the hallway at Atalius, who is running away.
Dope.
And he hits Atalius in the back, who like, you guys can't see this happening. In the middle of this complex fight, you see Bill Thorne as a fucking were-tiger, standing on a table, kind of leaning on the edge of like standing with one foot on the top of a chair, make this like trick shot at Atalius down the hallway, and you just hear like a body hit the floor and then like a giant clash of coins as they like spill out on the like the cement or on the tile.
Damn. So cool.
And that is his turn. Cyric Shadowblade is going to attack this silver crab and drops him. Silver crab is going to run up into the fray. Miss. This silver crab is gonna run up as well. Hit once. The Crimson Rat Bandit is going to run at Bill Thorne. Missing. This Crimson Rat is going to make a Wisdom. And he succeeds. That's the end of his turn. This figure, who you guys weren't exactly sure whose side he was on, seeing Bill Thorne turn into a tiger and fighting and all this stuff breaking out, is going to look at Isolde and look at this Crimson Rat and then attack the Crimson Rat. And kill him. And he kind of gives you like a nod, Isolde.
Nice.
Elvinor is going to, he just spends his, like he's completely passed out drunk on this bench. This Crimson Rat Bandit is going to attack this guy. Chuthra is held. She makes another Wisdom saving throw. And fails. Bosner, you are up with your
My God.
one initiative. It's beautiful.
Oh, man. I fell asleep there for a second. Well, seeing everything play out, Vosner, being the tactician that he is, sees Damon blink off over there and attack something. So he's going to boop himself over about 15 or 20 feet or so. And he's going to cast... Do I have it on my macro bar? I think I do. Is this it? Domination, Dispel. I do have it. Going to cast Moonbeam at 4th level.
Ooh.
Vosner, just being overly frustrated at a whole bunch of things. His eyes glow like a silvery, like moon, silvery blue.
Okay.
But like he looks really pissed. So, gonna cast that at 4th level, right here.
Okay. It
And
rolled the
then-
damage already, but we'll count that on their turn.
Okay. Then, not to be out tigered, he turns into a tiger.
Sweet. Okay. Back to the top of the round. This bandit is dead. Johoff, you are up.
That one right to the right of Izzy has like 1 health or something, right?
No, it's dead as well.
Oh, it's dead? No. Alright. Then, Johoff is gonna make his way up there. And attack that boy.
Sweet.
Still disadvantage, I assume?
Yep.
Alright, let's see.
It's a miss. It's a definite other miss.
All right, that's. I'm gonna use my key point to take the disengage.
Okay. That sucks, because if you had hit, then you could have automatically disengaged because of your drunken master shit.
It would have been great. Would have loved it.
Yeah, this could all be so cool.
Yeah, it could have been great. I think that's the one.
John, question. Because Moonbeam does radiant damage, does that have any extra umph on undead folks?
Nope.
No?
No, not unless it specifies that they are vulnerable to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it does not specify here. I did check, though. Okay.
Alright, I'm done. Poisoned, feeling like shit, just missed a guy twice, and then basically ran away. So, not feeling great here.
Beautiful stuff. Big Pete is kind of just in the melee here, swinging. And kills one of them. And turns to another one, to the big guy, and hits him pretty hard.
I'm in.
And he looks back at Johoff and says, "You gonna join us for this?" And kind of like laughs maniacally as he's stabbing people. And
Fuck off.
Cass attacks the guy with 2 more slashes into him with her short sword. And it is Peter's turn, and he is going to attack Damon. And he just says...
He needs to take the moonbeam damage.
Well, he takes that moonbeam damage now.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to apply right then.
See it apply.
Is that...
What?
I'm confused. The
Okay.
the moonbeam
It's
damage
applied
already
when you
applied.
cast it.
Yeah.
So, the way the spell reads, when the creature enters the spell for the first time or starts its turn. So when I cast the spell, does that count as the first time and then on turn?
How it works is it's shown to have applied when you cast a spell and started this turn.
Yep.
Oh,
The program, it just did it when you casted it.
okay. Just make sure.
And or
You got some turbo speak going on.
Also, from a previous life, Taryn just feels joy at seeing the moonbeam.
Nice. I wasn't going to comment on how moonbeams work in sewers, but, you know, it is a little bit strange. We'll just say it's emanating from the ceiling. Okay.
I have a really nice skylight.
Peter looks at Damon and says, "You can still save them." And he hits you twice. The first hit misses you. And the second hit misses you as well. Holy fuck. These low rolls! You guys might fucking survive this shit. Alright, Taryn's up.
Taryn points his wand at the acolyte who's holding the other person and kind of snarls again and casts Tidal Wave.
Whoa. Careful with how you place it, because if you place it like halfway on a tile, it might not apply, so, like, just so you know.
It's not selected.
Did you restart when we redid the thing?
Yeah. Like I've got like the measuring thing out, but it won't like click down.
Is it because you're like doing it through a wall, maybe? No, there shouldn't be. There are no walls in that area. There you go. Yeah. So you create this tidal wave, and it hits a huge, just like, which direction is it going? To the east or to the west?
East to west.
Okay, so you basically like blow these guys this direction. That one dies. Oh, I shouldn't have deleted him, but that's fine. And yeah, he makes a concentration saving throw.
And the ones who fail are prone.
And fails his concentration. And Chuthra is no longer held in place. And is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Isolde, you're up.
Sorry, I was muted. Can I see Damon from where I am, or is this just all chaotic nonsense going on?
It's pretty chaotic. I would say, given how many people are in close proximity to you right now, you can't really get a glimpse unless you like stood on a table, since you're not like the tallest person around.
Okay, well, he's the person that I'm worried about the most right now, so she's gonna step over the dead body of this cultist next to her.
Okay.
And go up, I guess this far.
Okay.
And then cast Spirit Guardians. So she just kind of like is starting to dash up the right side of the room.
Got it.
And a burst of spirits comes out. Yeah.
Okay. Put the AoE around you, and then
Yeah.
remind me when it's the turn of the person in the shit. Okay. Atalius is dead. Oh, fuck. Yeah. So let me undo all that. Alright. So I undid all that damage. Yep. Cool. Talius is dead. Silver Crab is dead. Hey, the turns are getting faster, guys.
Just because we all know what we want to do.
Oh, that and everybody's dying.
Yeah.
I guess he's going to attack this guy. And gets 2. Oh, fuck. Am I targeting 2 things? God damn it. No. There we go. And that's his turn. Crimson Rat is dead. This Crimson Rat starts his turn in Isolde's AoE. Do you decide who it hurts?
Yeah.
So
You designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by it. So I would undesignate like Bill Thorne and Cert and Joe Hoff, obviously.
Okay, just making sure. So can you roll damage? Or it's a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
He fails. Just gonna
you
get.
just want me to?
Yeah, just roll damage, but I'm guessing it's more than 6.
I hope so.
If it's not, we'll fix it.
How do I do it? Oh.
/ roll 3d8. There it is. Yeah, you kill him before he can do anything. So he like goes to swing at Bill Thorne, and you can like see the Cyric engraved in his scarred wrist as he's swinging his short sword. And before he connects to hit Bill Thorne, your like spirits come and just like maul him to the ground.
Yes.
The mediator is now going to like go and wake up Elvenor on his turn. He's like, "Wake up, you fucking drunk!" And it is this Shadowblade's turn, and he is going to attack Big Pete. Big Pete takes 3 huge hits. This Shadowblade succeeded his saving throw. He's going to come over here and try to grapple Damon. Try to like grab him. And so it is a athletics against your athletics, so you have to roll. Is anybody good at, like, Laurel, do you know grappling rules? I always forget this shit.
I don't. I thought Tim did.
I think you roll
There's a whole
athletics
campaign.
against their athletics or acrobatics, whatever they want.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, okay. So he's getting behind you, and he rolls a 24, so he grabs you from behind. And your like arms are restrained, and you can't move for now. And he is going to pull you this direction. And it is Bradson's turn. And he is going to... Well, you don't know what he does, because he's invisible. And it is this Crimson Rat, who's dead. And this Shadowblade is alive. It's going to attack one of these bandits. And he kills him. This Crimson Rat is going to, basically run in shield defense for this situation. He's, readying an attack for anybody that comes to interfere. DeMarcus, you are up. What you see is you are in the midst of, a complete brawl. All around this... Shadowblade, there are a whole bunch of people bashing on him, but people are dropping left and right. Big Pete's taking a ton of hits next to you, and but you're still fine. Your Vow of Enmity is still on this particular Shadowblade, though.
Yeah. All I can see is just bodies, and that's all I'm thinking about. So I'm gonna attack the Cyric Shadowblade in front of me more. I think I'm not gonna big swing on him because he looks kind of like shit, and I just want to hit him basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So.
Yep, that connects. Roll damage. Yeah, so you just this guy's been dancing around, hitting all these people from all directions on him, and you finally just crush his chest in with your maul. It just you hit him in the chest really hard, and it just collapses his rib cage, and he dies.
Am I able to make a second attack on the other one in front of me, or? But I don't know how the second attack works. I guess can I retarget or not?
Yeah, you can step over his body and attack the other guy. Well, actually, it's a little bit tricky with terrain, so I'd say make an acrobatics check if you want to try to climb over him, or alternatively, you can just go around another way.
Okay, so let's see. This guy drops where? the funny thing is, like, he drops, and then there's like another one right in front of me in my visual line. You know? And so, like, that's all I'm thinking about. I'm
Sure.
just like, fuck these guys. So I think, yeah, I would just try to do an acrobatics check and get over that guy.
Yeah, go for it. Just make one quick. It won't be hard. Oh, okay. So, you try to, like, get past... You're, like, struggling to get your mace out of the chest of this one and move towards the next one. And, yeah. So I'll let you make the attack, but we're just going to say it as disadvantage because of the situation.
Alright. As I would be doing it, though, I would, as a bonus action, cast the Vow of Enmity on him, so it'd just be a normal attack roll.
Wait,
right?
you can't do that. You can only do that once.
Okay. Alright, got it. Sorry. Yeah, so I'll do the attack roll. Disadvantage. I have to change my target, sorry.
No worries.
And let's...
Okay. Yeah, you miss.
Okay.
It is the Cult Fanatic's turn.
Yeah,
Oh, are you going to do anything with your bonus action?
I don't think that there's really too much for me to do. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The, he's going to cast Inflict Wounds on Chuthra. And it hits her for 27 damage. And she is hurting. Damon, you are currently grappled.
So, what are my options beyond just trying to escape the grapple?
That's a great question.
You can cast a spell, I know.
Let me read. Sorry. Can't believe I did this to you, and then I don't know how it works. Okay, grappled creature's speed becomes 0, and it cannot benefit from any bonus to its speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. The condition also ends if the effect if an effect removes the grappled creature from reach of the grappler. Yeah. So basically, you can contest it again.
I found some, like, a random site that says if I Misty Step, that will end the grapple. Is that true?
That sounds right to me.
Okay, then I will Misty Step with a bonus action once again.
Okay.
Just back to the other side of Peter. So that I can swing at him again.
Sick!
Dope.
Yeah.
That is a... Wait. Yeah, you hit and the damage is applied. You blink behind him out of the hands of the Shadow Blade. And Peter is, like, oblivious to you having magic capacities, and so he doesn't expect it. And then all of a sudden you hit him in the back with your flaming sword. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay. Galen is going to use his, what is he gonna do? He's gonna use his light crossbow on this Crimson Rat. And he only hits once. Bill Thorne is up. Bill Thorne is going to shoot this Cult Fanatic with his longbow. And he launches 2 arrows across the room, and both of them strike into the Cult Fanatic, who dies immediately.
Dope.
Alright, this Shadow Blade is going to get on top of Chuthra. And hits her twice. That last hit, 1d4 plus 5 plus 1d4, both ones. Beautiful stuff. Alright, this silver crab is attacking this guy. Misses. Attacking the same one. Hits him once. This guy is in Izolda's AoE, so wisdom saving throw. What was the damage you rolled? 11?
Yeah.
He fails it, so he takes 11 damage. He's hurt. And he's going to attack you. One hit. So roll a constitution or a concentration check to make sure.
Yeah, how do I do?
Just roll a constitution saving throw. You are concentrating. This Crimson Rat is starting his turn in the thing, but wait, has he gone yet? Yeah, no, it should be. So Vosner casted it, he got hit. Yeah, okay, so he's already received the damage this time. And he's going to attack Damon. Both miss. Man, Damon, you are the hardest person to abduct. Maybe I should have, like, you know, made it somebody real squishy, easy to pick up, you know, like a halfling or something. Okay,
Abducted easily last time, so.
Yeah, you already had your easy abductee.
That's a good point. Zert is...
If it's worth abducting, it's not going to be easy.
We all need to have the stranger talk.
Okay, so Zert comes forward with his great axe and just cleaves this Crimson Rat in two.
Spark.
Elvenor gets up and is gonna cast Cure Wounds to heal the Mediator for 10. Chuthra is going to rage and recklessly attack this Shadow Blade.
I'm wondering what she did other than be a pincushion.
Oh, rude.
And she crits.
Dang, girl.
For 14 damage. And swings again and hits again. It is Vosner's turn.
Sweet. I'd like to move the beam to. What do I do? I don't know. Do I have to recast the spell?
Yeah, I don't think you can move the beam while in cat form.
No, it's not like a fireball or whatever it is.
I think
Flame
it takes
Spear.
an action if you do.
Yeah, but I don't. I think the way it works is like you have. It's like a casting it kind of again thing. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm skeptical if you can actually move it while in cat form. But maybe.
I mean, if you keep it where it is, you'll get Peter and that guy again. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll just do that. Alright, so I'm gonna come and
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't move that guy. I guess I would have moved them. Oh well.
yeah, I'm gonna pounce the Crimson Rat that's sort of guarding everything. Alright, kitty.
Okay.
I need to select him. Closed out of the thing. that work?
I mean, it didn't do a thing. Who are you pouncing?
This Crimson Rat right here.
Okay, yeah. Roll for the attack. The claw attack.
Claw first, right? Give me smell.
And then it's like a dex save, I think, against it. Of strength.
Okay. It's a strength.
He succeeds. But you hit him for damage with the claws, so roll that.
Okay.
You targeted yourself. But I will apply that damage.
Okay.
So yeah, the claw actually kills him.
No. And then, since I didn't use my full movement, can I just move as close as I can over here? Next to Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, how do I give myself health back in kitty form?
You have to use that ability. I don't know if you can do that as a bonus action.
I didn't take any damage.
Right. Oh, I'll get it.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Top of the round again. Tim, I know you had to leave early. Am I fucking that up now? Is Tim here?
Yeah, sorry. We're definitely getting close here, so pretty soon here I'm going to need to head out.
Okay. I tried to build in a narrative mechanic where you would be unconscious for a reasonable amount of time. And
thank you for giving that a try. It's just Joe Hoff's
too strong.
Too strong.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's have Joe Hoff do one more round, and then just narratively we'll say he suffers from a poison-based exhaustion and passes out.
Yeah, it makes sense. If his organs are doing nasty shit. Right. Going to move.
That bandit's dead, by the way.
Oh, okay. That was the one that just died from Boston.
Okay.
All right. I am going to weakly throw my fists at this man.
Okay. Well, I guess if you're running straight into it, maybe your character will just die, and then that'll resolve all of our narrative issues.
Well, there's always that. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, that's a miss. And a miss. And you're out of key points, right?
Oh, heavens no. I have a ton of key points.
You have 0 key points in your character sheet.
Oh, because I haven't rested since then.
Right, since the fight.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to make a run for it and just take the possibility of the attack.
So you moved...
I can get, like, behind Vosner, basically, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, there-ish.
Yeah, he missed you with his attack. Wait, what's your AC? Fuck, 18?
18 because of the thing with...
Right. You're dodgy boy.
Dodgy boy.
In the ring. Okay.
And then I'm going to scream really loud and collapse to the floor, holding my stomach, and then pass out.
Yeah. And we'll say that the other tick of poison just hits you, and you hit 0 and you're unconscious, but we'll also just say that you're stable. And we'll also say, for narrative reasons, that because you were warded bond with Isolde that she feels the pain that you feel. I'm not going to actually take away her hit points because this fight's already hard, but like you experience half of the like inside pain that Johaf does as he blacks out.
I scream.
And it is Big Pete's turn, who just saw Johaf like stumble to the ground, and he's going to like go over to you, and he's gonna like throw you over his shoulder, and he's going to like pull you this way out of the fray. And it is
Big Pete.
Cass's turn, and she's going to like do some flippy shit off the walls and start attacking this guy.
I'm gonna head out, folks.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Bye,
Love,
friend.
love you all. Bye.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Bye.
Okay, so Cass attacks this Shadow Blade. He's knocked pretty. He gets hit a couple times, but he's still doing fine. And where are we at? Peter. Okay, so
now this is so he starts another round.
yeah, so roll the damage for Moonbeam.
So it's what, 4d10?
Or whatever the spell says. Wow, you rolled worse than me. Okay, 12 damage.
Yep.
A 2, a 1, a 1, and an 8. Okay, on his turn, he's gonna look at Damon and say, I'll be back for you. And he teleports to the shadows and then goes invisible. And you guys cannot see him.
No attacks of opportunity there?
Invisibility- Was the invisibility a spell?
No, is an ability related to shadows.
Okay, cool.
Taryn, you are up.
Alright, Terran will stalk forward like 10 feet and then cast Hold Person on the guy who had grappled Damon.
Okay.
I'll burn 4 meta magic points to heighten it and impose disadvantage on his saving throw.
Damn.
Yes.
Yeah, girl.
Oh, so I should make the saving throw? What's the saving throw? Unless you want to cast it and target him. I don't know. Yeah, he fails. Okay. So he is held...
Paralyzed.
Paralyzed. I put it as grappled, but you know what I mean. The hand kind of makes sense to me. Is there anything else you do on your turn?
He'll walk towards that guy more.
Okay. Isolde.
I am trying to shake off what the fuck just happened to me. But I watched Peter go into the shadows, and I'm angry that I'm not going to be able to do this to him. But I will walk up to the Shadow Blade guy kind of slowly. And if he's held by Terran, then melee attacks have advantage, correct?
Yeah, and then they automatically crit, I believe, because he's paralyzed. I think. Does that sound
your
right to
spirit-
everybody? I forget.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Does your spirit guardians travel with you, or does it stay in that localized spot?
Oh no, it stays with me.
Yeah, I moved it. But it won't trigger until their turn.
But I will reach out a hand and like get it on his face if I can, and just say fall, and I'll cast inflict wounds on him at 4th level.
Whoa! The big guns coming out.
The big guns.
Yeah. So, wait. Did you roll
That's
advantage?
alright. No.
Oh, roll advantage then? Like to roll the second time? You
missed. Fuck.
Yeah, that seems
Well, I'm
weird.
in a huge amount of pain, so whatever.
Okay. Yeah, you cast the spell and it like fizzles in your hand. It's like almost too much power trying to come out of your hand at once, and you just can't control it, and it like just fails. This
Alright, it was some
Crimson
kind of
Rat
next level necromancy.
is dead.
Makes sense.
The mediator's gonna hop on a table and start shooting his crossbow. God damn it. My screen went black. It's so very angry. God damn it. Yeah.
Do we have to refresh?
Yeah, maybe. Motherfucker.
Sorry, it takes like 5 seconds.
Okay.
You still there?
Yep. I don't know why it's not doing... Well, fuck it. Oh, well. I'll just do another attack. Yeah, okay. So, the mediator on top of a table shoots his crossbow across the room and just fucking lights up this Shadow Blade. For 48. Oh, it's gotta be...
Holy shit.
Yeah. And, yeah, that's his turn. This Shadow Blade is dead. This Shadow Blade is held in place. He has to, what, make a wisdom saving throw again?
And he has to do Spirit Guardians.
Yeah.
At the end of every turn, he makes a wisdom save for hold.
Okay, so wisdom for Guardians first. Fails. How much damage did he take?
16.
Whoops! Okay, there we go. And then he has to make a wisdom saving throw to see if he breaks free.
Yes.
And he fails that as well. Same roll.
Taryn kind of laughs at him, and it kind of reminds everybody of Jacoba.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah.
As far as you guys know, Bradson is not in the room.
What?
Yeah, so it was
Son of a
Bradson's
bitch.
turn and nothing happened.
Right.
This guy is going to attack a bandit. Kills him.
Just in case you wanted, because the map is misleading, I did strike that Shadow Blade, so if he wanted his attention on me, I am right in front of him, just on the map, it looks like I'm far away from him. So
I'll just put you right there.
okay, yeah.
Okay, DeMarcus is up.
Alright, so when Vosner ran over there and Joe-Off ran over there, I finally got a glimpse of Peter, and I was so ready to go fuck him up, and then he disappeared again, and I am so mad about it. So I just turn my focus back toward the Shadow Blade in front of me, and let's see. First, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay. Oh fuck, did we add that to your tools?
Since when do you have
I know.
Hunter's Mark?
Look, guys, there's a lot of things that you could be asking me all the time.
Fuck, I don't have
I'm
Hunter's
here,
Mark
I'm
on
here
your
to
shit.
field questions.
Tell me all your new powers.
Yeah, I can just roll the
Yeah, the extra 1d6. Yeah.
the 1d6, yeah, and I'll be able to keep track of it. And then I'm gonna do I think what should I do? I think I'm gonna do a regular swing on him. I gotta get there. Sorry. It come through. Give it a second if it didn't come through for you yet. I definitely clicked it, and I don't want to click it 20 times.
Okay, I don't think that's the problem. You probably didn't refresh after I restarted.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, there's like 3 people in the room.
On it. Gotcha. Sorry.
No worries. It's my fault that this shit's breaking, so... Well, it's on my end, at
I
least.
mean, it's a huge-ass bar brawl.
Yeah!
Dope.
Wasn't necessarily expecting
Yeah,
you
this
guys
is
to go the combat route, but... I mean, you always got a plan for it.
What about us made you think that we wouldn't go the combat?
I don't know. The last...
in the sewers and go the combat route. So
It was like essentially 20 versus 10, and they had a lot of big boys, but you guys are fucking fierce now. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like really step up my encounters. You guys are too good.
At least
Notice
4
that?
dragons per encounter.
Yeah. Yakuba comes, an undead Yakuba comes bursting through the
No.
door.
No.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
Okay, John.
Yep.
And so roll damage. I'm also gonna put a first level smite on it. So
Okay.
first damage roll,
Sweet.
and we'll add smite damage at level 1. And
Okay.
I'm gonna add 1d6. How do I just roll? What's the?
No, it's fine.
the-
Just roll 1d6. Slash roll 1d6.
It's slash roll. Yep.
Space
No.
between roll and 1d6. There it is. Alright.
Alright, and then my second attack, I think I'll do the same.
Yeah, it hits. Yep.
And I'm also going to burn my last first level spell slot to do another smite on him, first level.
Sweet.
And I'm going to... Do I add 1d6 again
Yep.
for the Hunter's Mark on that?
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah.
that's all I got.
So you come swinging at him. You hit him twice, both times fairly effective hits. You call on the divine powers within you to add extra radiant damage, and your mace, which is like this giant black adamantine mace that has a strange head, starts glowing with radiant power, and it looks really weird where it's like all black metal with like this shining white light coming off of it. As you're like smashing it into this Shadow Blade, who's trying to dodge it but is unable to move out of your deft attacks. This fanatic is dead. It is Damon's turn.
Damon is going to move up to this Seared Shadow Blade.
Okay.
And then, I don't know exactly how this would happen, but what Damon doesn't want is for this guy to die. He wants to take him alive. So I don't know if like he needs to check for a suicide pill or something by like squeezing his mouth or something like that, or if that would be a grapple.
Oh, yeah, you could inspect him for something like that, but he's wearing a mask, and he is paralyzed, so you could like rip off his mask, as like as like an attack, and I'll just say that like given that he's paralyzed, it's easy enough for you to just rip off his mask.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I do then. I tear off his mask and I just want to like inspect for any fail-safe he has for not being taken.
Sure, you don't recognize him, but he just looks like kind of a normal dude, except for he looks kind of, well, first of all, he's paralyzed, so like there's all these like dark like veins in his face that are like kind of blackened, and his like whole body is rigid, and he looks like he's like suffering quite a bit. But in his face, you know, all you see is just like anger and kind of like just hatred, and yeah. But you don't notice anything like a suicide pill or something like that.
Like as I'm looking at him, does it look like there's any like intelligence or awareness? Or
yeah, he looks like a intelligent humanoid, but he also looks kind of like a corrupt person that, you know, might not be. I don't know. You just get a vibe from him that like he's kind of almost insane, but kind of just manic almost.
Right on. Do I still have an attack?
We'll say it was your attack to take off his mask.
Okay, cool. That's my turn then.
Okay.
Did you say anything about wanting to keep him alive, or was that internal?
I probably would have said that to you as I walked up. Like, we want this one alive.
Yeah. And so just to speed things up, the next turns, basically all these people are surrounded. Peter is gone, as far as you guys know, and there's just enough people that I'm just not gonna roll it out. This group over here, Cass, DeMarcus, Big Pete, Bill Thorne, all these people shooting from afar, plus you guys are enough to kill the ones over here, and if you want to keep this one alive, you can.
Alright, yeah, I'll just keep holding him then.
Okay, you'll keep holding him, and then we're gonna end combat. If that's alright with everybody. Sorry if you had something cool planned.
Darn.
Marcus is like smashing the skulls in of Shadow Blades over here.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can narratively tell me, like, how does I'll say DeMarcus kills one, and then maybe somebody else kills the other one. If anybody wants to call
I'm
dibs
just
on it.
walking around this bitch like a storm, letting the spirits kill people.
Yeah, okay. The spirits are like killing everybody that's opposed to you, and then like even smashing a little bit the bodies of these cultists and bandits who are on the ground. And we are going to...
Vosner is just intimidating anything that moves. There's a giant saber-toothed tiger.
It's gonna be like burns out the eyes of the last crimson rat.
Savage.
And the dust kind of settles.
And DeMarcus kind of like sobers up. The first thing he does is he's gonna go over to Johoff. He's gonna use the remaining 5 out of his healing pool to try to cure him of a poison.
Yeah, so you successfully cure a poison. You realize that there are a number of them coursing through him right now. And when you cure him, he seems to stabilize, like his heart's like not beating super fast, and he's not like, but he still remains unconscious. It seems as though this poison had an effect that's going to like basically knock him out, and that he'll live, but he's not gonna wake up for like, I don't know, maybe a couple days.
Yeah, so DeMarcus just screamed, like I have my hands on him, I just scream fuck. And I look at Izzy as she walks over and I say, I don't have any more ability to heal him, but he has more poison in him.
I will try to cast Lesser Restoration on him.
Yeah, okay, and with Lesser Restoration, you, like, rid his body of the remaining poison. But again, he's completely catatonic.
Yeah, so I'll just, like, I have my hands on his chest when I cast Lesser Restoration, and I'll look up at DeMarcus and just say, he's alright now, but he is going to sleep for quite a while.
I just look at you and nod, and then I go over to Damon.
Taryn's gonna ask, just like the room to tie up the last Shadow Blade before hold runs out.
Yeah, so I go up there next to you, Taryn, and Damon by that guy, and I say I can hold him as well if we need to.
If DeMarcus has like the materials to tie him up or whatever and just incapacitate him that way, I would
That's a
let
great
DeMarcus-
question. I don't know if I ever picked up an explorer's pack or anything like
We'll
that.
just say you guys have rope. That's not a problem.
Okay, because then Damon wants to come over to the other Lockwater boy and like just inspect the wound and see if he can learn anything about what Peter was doing with his magical shape-changing hand.
Yeah, just from watching him attack you, you got the feeling that it's not so much that his hand was shape-shifting, but that his like form is much more, it's like strange and mutated, and like he's some sort of kind of undead, strange construction.
Alright, I'm gonna then turn to Izzy and ask, do you think you could get him talking?
Are you muted, Laurel?
She's on mute.
Yep. I don't have that magic today, and by tomorrow it might be too late. But I think that we should at least take the body to the town's guard and show them the wound and tell them what happened.
I agree. And then I'll like maybe reach to lift him up.
And
DeMarcus,
Big
sorry,
Pete
go ahead.
comes over and he's just like, I don't know about bringing any bodies to the King's Guard here. I don't really want to draw any attention to the situation.
To the situation here at the inn, you mean?
That's right.
There's no need to mention where it happened, I suppose. But we must at least tell him that the Lockwater sons were alive until today.
You're going to approach the leader of the city guard with the corpse and say, we found him.
I'm not sure what to say, but hopefully as close to the truth as possible.
Yeah, well, make sure you leave me out of the truth. And he winks at you.
Looking over, DeMarcus yells at Big Pete. You've lost control. Crimson Rats are already aligned with the cult of Cyric, and they've already made war in your peaceful zone. They've broken all the rules. We'll keep you out of it as best as we can because we owe you, but this is out of our control too.
The mediator comes over and just says, just give me a little bit. I'll figure this out. It's fuck. And you can tell that he's looking like super like confused. He like doesn't know what to do.
Are you trying to figure out how to protect the individuals, the silver crabs and such, from any sort of blame?
Yeah, I just had about a dozen people die on my premises.
Right.
Damon will sarcastically offer to burn it down if they think that would be easier.
Oh no.
Fortunately for us, it's difficult to burn down a sewer.
So Taryn, I'm trying to tie this guy up with all of the like rope and everything that I can find because I know that they're probably crazy strong. Or is anyone helping me with this?
Damon will come back over after having that conversation with Izzy.
Yeah, Taryn, I look at you and I say, how long is your spell gonna last?
It'll last a minute total. We'll probably burn most of that by now.
Alright, so I ask, let's see, Damon's over here. I say anybody strong enough, come over in case he breaks free so that we can keep him under control.
Sweet. I'll just stand over him as a saber-toothed panther and just get really close to his face with my teeth.
John, if I ready a spell, does that mean that I have to use it eventually? Like, is it already burned, or can I undo it and use something else for the spell slot?
It is burned. It basically, so the way readying a spell works is it basically consumes the spell and then puts you in a mode of concentration and until whatever happens makes you cast the spell. So it's pretty it's a pretty big investment to hold a spell.
Gotcha. So I will not hold the spell. I just look at Taryn and I say, if you're ready, release your spell.
Taryn nods, waits a moment, and then lets it go.
As soon as you do that, he casts, well, I don't know why it rolled damage, but he casts Dimension Door at 4th level.
Taryn counterspells.
Okay. If you're counterspelling, what's the rule for if it's over, like, what's the level? I know you like click cast it into the thing. If it's casting a 4th level or higher, make an ability check. DC equals 11 plus the spell's level. So a 14.
So just a charisma check for 15?
Yeah. Actually, I think if you get a 14, you get it too. Yeah. So you interrupt the spell. He's like starts chanting really quickly, and you cast it, and it like shuts down his spell. And he looks up at you, furious.
Fuck yeah.
I'm just going to calmly get down to his level and look him in his face and say, or pull my cloak down so that everyone can now see that I'm a construct, and ask how they could tell I was the construct.
Marcus casts Zone of Truth.
You have Zone of Truth?
Yes.
And I prepped it.
Oh,
man,
shit.
I've been waiting to interrogate some people for fucking ever. So DeMarcus also gets down.
So
at Damon's
cast.
level.
Can you cast that into the chat for us?
I will, yeah. So DeMarcus gets down at Damon's level, and he looks this guy right in the eyes too, and he says, "Don't try to do that again. I've interrogated fouler things than you in the depths of the abyss." And he casts Zone of Truth, and I gotta pull it up. What do I do? Just hit standard roll, I guess?
Yeah. It's fine. Okay, cool. So he has to make a... Okay, blah blah blah. Until when the creature enters blah blah blah. On a field sake, you cannot speak a deliberate lie. Okay.
Do we all have to save?
He fails the saving throw, so he cannot lie.
Do DeMarcus's friends in the area have to make it too?
Nah. I'll just say...
Yeah, it just says a creature, so I don't know if it's...
You would just get a lot of growls out of Vosner, so...
Yeah.
You wouldn't lie to us, would you, Terry?
We had an option to roll a save, and I didn't know if I needed to click it.
Nah, you're good. Okay. So what are you asking him?
And then, so yeah, DeMarcus says, proceed with the questioning, Damon.
I get down on his face and ask, how did you know I was the construct?
He pauses for a minute.
DeMarcus can tell what's going on with him, and DeMarcus is going to relay that information to Damon.
And he looks at you, and then he spits a bunch of blood into Damon's face.
Marcus takes his maul and he hits him directly in the face with it.
Okay.
Trying to knock him out, if anything, not kill him.
Yeah, roll an attack. Or actually, just roll damage. It's kind of like a coup de grace situation.
Oh, oops, sorry. I apparently had my spell thing drop over there. I bet. Let's see. Oh, I need to target him. Where? Do you want me to do it with advantage since he's tied up, or?
Yeah. Yep. So, that's kind of exactly what I wanted to happen. Roll critical damage.
His head is gonna blow off.
What? Is that all? Okay. So, what happens is, he essentially, like, when you go to swing it, he, like, creepily leans in to where you're gonna hit it, so that instead of just being, like, a concussive thing, he takes the full hit, and it, like, you hear his skull crunch. Like, you were trying to, like, just casually, like, punish him, but it, like, literally smashes all the bones in his face, and he dies.
Fuck.
Aaron suggests just punching him next time.
DeMarcus does not like evil shit, dude.
Rosner sits down and begins to clean his paws.
Yeah, Damon like looks at DeMarcus and just slowly wipes his face.
DeMarcus is completely unaffected, and you can tell that DeMarcus is actually kind of happy that the Shadow Blade is there.
Damon says to him, I appreciate your desire for justice, but this is going to happen again.
Wouldn't have given us any useful information anyway. Get Joe off, let's go.
He, before you guys leave, Galen comes up to you and goes, some interrogation you got there.
Yeah, I overdid it a bit.
Yeah. He, like, looks at the guy's smashed-in face and goes, a bit.
Damon turns to Galen and says, I apologize, we were not able to contribute as much as you were.
Fuck that, I barely did anything. I was just here to, see Italius get what was coming to him. Didn't realize there was gonna be a whole cult shit show here.
Damon doesn't say anything, but makes a mental note that he has to make his sarcasm clearer in the future.
Vosner drops the form. He says, yeah, we got a lot of run-ins with these guys. It's getting on my nerves, actually.
And Bradson comes in, and you can tell that he was just beat up pretty bad. And Galen goes, well, fuck, I guess that big guy got away. And Bradson nods. Apparently he had gone in the hallway to see if he could catch anybody who was trying to escape, and when Peter came through, he was unable to stop Peter.
Would he have seen Peter at all, or would Peter have been invisible by that point?
He saw him because Peter basically went invisible using the shadows and then teleported out of the room, which got rid of his invisibility. It was only like a temporary thing.
Okay.
He says, I know where he's going, though.
Where?
Damon's gonna perk up at that.
Well, it's probably the case that they've taken over the Crimson Rat's entire enterprise at this point. And he gestures at all the Crimson Rats, who are now, like, obviously cultists, laying dead on the ground in this room. He says, they've probably just taken over that entire area of the sewers. So, if we want to find Peter Lockwater, that's where we'll have to go. I'm not quite sure we're ready to just waltz right into that trap, though.
It would be wise if we at least rested for a bit.
Yeah, you can say that.
I turn to Izzy and say, and I ask her, do you think you could send a message to the Crown's Guard and just let them know maybe what we did or what we ran into?
Galen turns to you guys and just says, I already had Bradson send a message to Master Marin, and Marin has contacted Captain Damien. So they know.
They know that the Lockwaters are involved with the cultists?
Yeah, I've been tracking down the Lockwaters for a while now.
Do they know that we have the body of Joel Lockwater with us?
Yeah, Bradson told him.
Alright. Were there any instructions in return?
No, just that if we're gonna push into the cultists, we gotta await further orders. There's guild masters who would be willing to help us break into their base.
Alright, and in the meantime we should just leave the body here or take it with us?
Well, you should probably get that to the guard captain.
Yeah.
Alright.
And the mediator walks forward and says, yeah, you guys can have the body of the noble, and we'll clean up the rest of this mess down here. I imagine that you guys still want to get paid out for your battle, or for the bout, though I don't exactly know how to handle it since Italius clearly threw the match. I guess we'll just have to, I don't know, hand everybody back the gold that they bet. Though,
That is more than fair.
Well, we'll just take one ballista and we'll call it even.
Did Johaf owe anything more to these guys, or was it just this one fight?
yeah, he says that he was only contracted for the one bout.
Okay. Because Damon's gonna say, as long as Johaf is free and clear of any debt he owes you, that seems fair.
Oh, Joaf's fine. He's done his work. When he looks over at him, says, seems like Metalius had a secret plan for Johaf after all.
Is there some sort of history between them? I
No.
thought Italius' conflict was with our companion.
I think Italius was just looking to get revenge on anybody he could get it on.
Mm.
And you guys can see Cass and Big Pete are kind of like tending to Johaf, and then Big Pete comes over and says, I think I can take care of Johaf here, take him back to the Lee Wind and get him some, food and water. Keep him right. If you guys don't mind.
no, that is all right, at least with me, but when he wakes up, could you send a message to the guild?
Yeah, I'll have my courier just send along a little note. And he kind of winks at you. One of my many servants.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll
I'm-
come in and look for him.
That sounds good.
Could I like leave my familiar with him?
Oh, with the idea of like
Or is that,
checking
like,
in on
too
him.
far? Yeah.
I think it would be too far, but we haven't worked out the physics on that. I would just say, for now, no, unless we look into it and it says yeah later.
Yeah, that's fine then. I was just wondering.
Okay,
What-
let's take like a 5-minute break and then come back.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Best interrogation yet.
Okay, I'm back.
Best interrogation yet.
Yeah,
That was sweet though.
dude. Fuck.
I feel like we did get farther into it than we did the last time we tried an interrogation.
It was also
He didn't escape, which is a plus.
yeah.
It's true.
It's true. It was fairly in character for DeMarcus to have just crushed his head. I think it actually, when I step back and get over the disappointment of not getting any information, I'm like, that's probably the way that it should have gone.
To be fair, Zone of Truth does not mean you're going to get information. It just means you can't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm going to try to abuse my high charisma score to see if I could persuade him, but we didn't have enough time.
Yeah, we haven't used that very much. Taryn as a persuasive individual.
I mean, he did make best friends with that one guy.
That's true.
Yeah, he's upstairs, man.
Oh shit, yeah,
reference.
you could finally see him again.
I think I might be a little bit scared of you now, though, Taryn. You're not quite the Dragonborn that you used to be.
No kidding.
All you guys are talking about.
you're not the happy-go-lucky guy that sat around the fire with Faye.
Nope.
Phil changed a lot of them.
Yep. Aaron's all like, wait, can I deceive everyone?
Well, that was, I was not expecting to have to, I don't know. I think this is good. I'm really happy with it. But role-playing, 10 characters in a scene is a little much. And, I don't have that many distinct voices, so it's a little bit tricky.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, hopefully it's not been too confusing.
Yeah, you nailed it, dude. It was sweet.
Don, you watch Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah. Well, I've watched all of it except for I don't think I've seen any of the new season.
You just have to do what that guy does in the Purge episode, where he just says everybody's name and then says everything in the same flat affect.
I can't remember that one for some reason.
Where he says, "You just have to listen to my tale. Fade in 3 weeks earlier."
I have to Google it. I actually don't remember that at all. I need to rewatch the whole show. I was waiting to see if a streaming service would pick it up. But none of the ones I use are using it.
It's all on Hulu.
It's all on Hulu or just some of the seasons? Because I think the
All
newest
of it.
season's not on Hulu.
I think the first 3 are. At least.
Yeah, I think the first 3 seasons are.
Yeah, season 4 will be on Hulu. It will probably just be more towards the fall or early winter.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of waiting for. Once that went on there, I was gonna start rewatching the whole show. Okay, so is everybody back? I guess with Tim gone, we don't have and Dylan gone. It's getting kind of sparse in here. Okay, so I think everybody's here. Okay, so just a little bit of recap. After the fight broke out, basically the mediator is cool with you guys taking the body of Joel Lockwater out of here. He's cleaning up this giant mess with the help of some of the silver crabs who are left alive. I guess there's only one silver crab bandit left alive. And then Cass and Big Pete are also tending to it, and they're going to take care of Joe Hoff. Bill Thorne is no longer in kitty form. Actually, we'll just say, yeah, he's still in kitty form because I don't want to dig up the token. And now he's sitting over at this table, eating some sausages, covered in blood, and he just is kind of sitting by himself. And you see Zert come over and pull up a chair and start eating as well. And they're just kind of being loners over in this corner. Elvenor is now back asleep. You can see he's got a big bottle of whiskey in his hand. He's already taken back the
Vosnar's
bottle.
gonna go over to the were-tiger.
Yeah.
And just chat with them.
In cat form, or are you done being cat?
I'm gonna try cat form first, see if he understands. I don't know other than I can understand languages. I can't speak common, but it doesn't say I can't understand cats.
Yeah, it says nothing. I don't have anything here on cat talk. I'm guessing it's not like a thing. So Billthorn would just be speaking normal common to you.
All right, I'll walk over as a cat and then drop the form.
Okay. So now you're normal form. He saw you stroll up as a cat.
Yeah, and I'll say sorry about well, I guess what used to be your comrades. This cult is really screwing a lot of things up.
Yeah. And he just
But-
takes another bite of food.
Yeah, but I'm impressed by your ability to be a beast and wield a bow.
He looks at you, kind of pauses for a few seconds, and then just turns back to his food, kind of rudely ignoring you. You can tell he's got a lot on his mind.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need an extra set of arms, know that you can always reach out to us. And I'll tell you.
He turns to you and he goes, I'm out of the bandit business, I think, and I'm not entirely sure why you'd be joining it.
Not necessarily joining the bandit business, more of getting the cultists out of the city business. If you know what I mean.
If they openly attacked here, I'm assuming they've already taken over the entire sewers on the Old Town side of town, so good luck trying to fight all of them. There's gonna be a lot more than what we saw in here. And he goes back to eating.
Yeah. Well, since you're out of the business, if there's anything that would give us leverage or advantage, let us know. I'm sure I wouldn't I'm not sure how it works with city humans, but we wouldn't let that information
So he
acquired
kind of
equally.
interrupts you and says yeah, you know what? If you really do go down there and fight all those fuckers, I'll tell you what, in my office, if you can find it, get through the door, there's a bunch of evidence, a bunch of letters, some money even, linking William Vaudry to a whole bunch of shit. That fucker was responsible for putting the cultists in these sewers, and I hope that fucker burns. And he goes back to eating his food.
Noted. And I'll say, take care. Hopefully we'll see you in better circumstances. And I head on off back to the group. And I'll let Izzy and Marcus know, and the rest of anyone, rest of the party know
Yeah.
of the potential evidence and all that stuff.
I'm just gonna have assume that Cass has just been piling up the bodies over in a corner over here, so that it's not as crowded and shit.
Nice.
So when you say everything, you mean everything that Bill Thorne just told you?
Yeah. there's sores under Old Town. If we get into the office, there's a whole bunch of evidence for the Vaudrys, all that stuff.
I wonder how Peter Lockwater got involved with the cultists. If it was William Vaudry who brought them down here.
And Galen chirps in, and he goes, "Actually, I can kind of help with that one. We've been investigating him for a while now. I think Peter Lockwater's been involved with the cultists for as long as they've been in this city."
Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty high up. And if that fight indicates something, I don't think whatever he is now is not, well, it's not normal, that's for sure.
Marcus chimes in and says he's an undead.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much with, like, the bone hand thing. And he, like, kind of touches the wounds on his face, which are, like, super fucking rough.
DeMarcus puts his hand on the wounds and then heals him for 2 HP, which is my remaining pool.
He notices the help and says, "Thanks. That helps." Meanwhile, Bradson is like playing a jam that's like actually. So one of the things that bards can do is like add extra hit die when you recover from a rest, and he's clearly playing that song. So this is all counting as like a short rest for everybody, by the way.
So, Damon turns to Galen and asks, "Do you know anything about Erin Lockwater or her whereabouts?"
Wait, who did you ask?
Erin Lockwater, is that the
Yeah, but who did you ask that question to?
Galen, just because he said he'd been investigating.
Yeah.
Peter Lockwater.
Oh, Galen says, "Oh, she died. Didn't you hear the fire? They found her body in the Lockwater Manor. She's dead." Her and her father. I kind of thought that's why you guys came down here. Thought you were involved in that investigation.
It is. It is just. It's hard to tell what is true from what we've heard.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, no, as soon as that fire hit, we were involved in the investigation. Since we're not a full-fledged squad anymore, we just kind of took it upon ourselves to investigate it, since we already have some connections here in the, well, underworld, I guess you'd call it. Anyways, we looked into it. Yeah, her body burned up. We found enough evidence indicating it was her, and yeah, and her father too. They're for sure dead.
And in your opinion, who do you think set the fire?
Well, there's one group of people around here who tends to set everything on fire that they see, and he kind of motions towards the cultists on the ground.
Kind of nice that he didn't motion to us for once.
Fair enough.
In your investigation, did you find any evidence of a relationship with Miliardo Leventhorpe?
Between Aaron and Miliardo?
Yes.
No, we don't have any evidence for that. Why, do you guys know something?
It is a hunch,
They
nothing more.
were. They may have been lovers of some sort.
Interesting. Well, that explains why the cultists would be killing her then, and her father. If she's got connections to Miliardo.
Hmm. And it's out of character. And it's William Vaudry who's running for mayor again, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
okay.
there's only one Vaudry. There was a cousin who died, who was associated with the cult. Or
Right.
not a cousin, it was like his nephew, I guess.
Yeah. So he also brought the thing down there, so he's also okay. And Vosner asks, so what do you think about this convenient death of all the nobles and the mayoral race?
Well, I mean, if what you just told Isolde here is true, then it seems like William Vaudry's behind most of this. And he's just trying to pin most of it on Miliardo.
Agreed.
Right now he's got him jailed and on trial for the rest of these killings. So if he's connected with the rest of the cultists, bringing them into the sores, then his whole save the city thing is pretty much a front. I can only wonder why he's connected with the cultists, what that would all do.
Well, I don't know that either.
This asks, hear that all the nobles and their allies are using the power of Cyric to accomplish their goals in the city. So are you saying that you don't yet know or have any news about what Cyric expects in return?
Well, I mean, I'm not really much of a religious nut, but I'm pretty sure Cyric is, like, in God prison or something? I don't know. That's at least what the guildmaster said. So, I'm not entirely sure what Cyric can do, but yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, Galen, did you say that you are not a squad at the guild anymore?
Oh, no. Owl Squad is, well, for a better word, I guess, disbanded.
How come?
Well, 3 people don't really make much of a squad now, do they? But, yeah, the 2 that led our group are no longer interested in the adventuring life. I don't really blame them.
That is, but won't you get new members?
Well, the guild's kind of, going through a transformative moment. They're not super interested in bringing in new people. So, not right now, no.
I'm not sure what you mean. There's no new members coming into the squads at all?
Well, we're not really recruiting anymore.
Vosner chimes in. He confirms that the other day when I went to talk with my master, he informed me that the other yes, that's what it was. He informed me that that new squad who went to deal with the druids, they lost a few members and then they disbanded. But then after that, they're not welcoming anyone else. So I'm not exactly sure.
Are you talking about Monkey Squad?
Yeah. They went to. They're the ones that were assigned the druid mission.
Right.
Yeah, apparently some violence broke out and they lost a couple of their members. And I don't know how many druids fell, but apparently things are at peace, whatever that means.
Yeah, as far as I know, the logging operation resumed.
Doesn't bode too well for my people. But yeah, I guess so many things have happened between them being assigned and this moment that yeah, they've been disbanded.
How long did you know that?
I suppose only, I guess, the past couple days. But yeah, I'm sorry that sorry I didn't let you know. But there was a lot that kind of happened between then. Just so I have it straight in my head, we went to get Terran between that, right? Me finding out about the druids, and then we went to go get Terran.
I
think.
yeah, that sounds
okay.
right.
Yeah. I think in the midst of that, we rescued Terran and started this investigation. So I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
I'm gonna go get some air, and she walks out.
Marcus jumps in and he says, "It doesn't matter, Vosner." And he looks to the three of them and he says, "We need all the help we can get, and we seem to be working in similar directions. I don't know what your plans are, but I hope that we can keep working together if it is what you want to do."
Well, our plan was just to see this thing through to the end, figure out what was going on with the cultists and the nobles. But, yeah, we'll be around. Maybe we'll, help Big Pete here set up his, well, whatever this is gonna be afterwards. There's always, money in the bandit business. And he winks at you.
Marcus sort of just like shrugs it off and he says, "Well, regardless, it's good to know that the three of you are taking care of whatever needs to happen against the cult of Sirik down here, so let us know how it's going and if you need anything."
Will do. I'll have, Bradson send you a message if, we need you for anything.
Sounds good. DeMarcus sort of takes his leave of them and he nods at all three of them and he goes over and he picks up the corpse of Joel and he tells everyone that we should go take this body to the guard and tell them what happened.
Hey John, while I'm out in the hallway, can I send a message to Helitha?
Yep.
Alright. I'm just gonna, just send something quick like, "I heard what happened to Monkey Squad, are you alright? This is Isolde."
There is no response.
What is it, dude?
Cool. Alright. I'm just gonna sit on the ground.
While all this is happening, Karen goes out to where Elias was killed and just kind of like looks him over and kind of like investigates like how well his blight spell worked.
You're gonna investigate who? Sorry.
Elias, I think.
Oh, Italius.
Italius, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just drag his corpse over here, and yeah, you can check it out. I'll give you like a Arcana roll, but basically, yeah, you can determine that it was super effective, that he resisted it, and that even through the resistance, he still took a shit ton of damage.
Awesome.
I go over to DeMarcus and say, "It seems like your skills have improved since last we met."
Like I said, I'm not the same paladin I used to be. I literally have Joel draped over my arms at this moment too.
Okay.
Yeah. I could, if it's okay, or if we're all walking out, I can talk with you as we're walking.
Yeah, we can walk and talk it. Where are you guys headed? So maybe we'll just set that scene up.
I think we needed to take Joel to the town guard, the captain.
Okay.
Damien, was it?
Yeah, City Hall.
Yeah.
Damon just pulls his cloak back up and assumes his same, like, brown-haired, brown-eyed, innocuous-looking dude.
And I also
Love it.
tell Foster before we talk, I say, we can talk, but find something to cover this body with, because if people see one of these dead nobles in the streets, it'll make it harder for us to get there.
Could I druid craft a whole bunch of hay? So it looks like a whole like a sack of hay or something.
I'm sure we could get a blanket from somebody.
Yeah, you guys can cobble together a blanket from. Yeah, the mediator just gives you a blanket you can use.
Darn it. Okay, fine.
And I don't think you could druidcraft like a massive quantity of hay. Like you could do a little hay hat.
So like sticking up out of it, so it looks like a sack or something.
Sure. It's just like a weird bodily shaped rug blanket thing with some hay sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here, just this body hay.
It's a lot of blood increasing.
Just a regular old body hay blanket.
Oh god.
Okay. So, you guys want to say anything while you're walking around town?
I just gonna ask DeMarcus on his newfound powers.
Before that, on the way out in the Leewin, Taryn just kind of gives the bartender,
Oh yeah.
like he doesn't like nod out, he just like waves to him like, hey, how's it going?
He goes, hey, that's my my favorite dragonborn. How you been, buddy?
And he's like real excited.
It's been a long couple weeks, but I'm back.
God, I just love seeing you. It's just good to have you around. I hope you come back. Free drinks on the house forever.
I definitely will.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Oh god.
What did Darren say?
Just I know, and kind
Oh
of
fuck! He Han Solo'd me. All right, yeah, good.
That's intense. Yeah, just ask DeMarcus about his new found set of skills.
Yeah, so if we're like walking around on the streets, my steed kind of magically came around a corner at a certain point, and I put the body on there.
Okay, I'm gonna load you guys into City Hall because it seems more fitting for this kind of city discussion. But yeah, feel free to keep talking while it's loading. Yep.
Sweet. And I say, so what kind of paladin are you if you're not what you once were?
Like I said, I'm going to try to remember Leeward as best as I can. So, in certain ways, I have remembered ways that he and I used to fight and train together. And in some ways, you'll see me a bit more like Leeward now, I guess. But as far as my paladin oath goes, that's between me and my god. But I suppose it's okay for you to know, and you should know, I suppose, that my prior task given to me by my god had everything to do with protection. That's not the case anymore. I know that you know, Vosner, that evil is taking a foothold in Tethir. It's probably also taking a foothold in the Wheeldath and in the woods you know and love. And protection is no longer enough. My god has told me that I need to go on the offensive.
Well, I have I have a certain understanding of how priorities change, especially when there are beings reaching out to us telling us that we should do so. So maybe not a god in my situation, but maybe nature itself saying that we need to be a little bit more proactive.
Confirm that the gods feel the same way.
Yeah. Whatever is festering beneath our feet. And unfortunate as it is to lose any life, but I don't know. We have to make sure our squad remembers that and not get too tied up with the politics of the city.
No, I agree with that. But the more tied up we get into the politics of the city, the clearer it becomes that the evil forces that are trying to take over Tethir are behind the politics of the city.
Yeah.
For me, the cult of Cyric is the largest problem right now. My god and Cyric are enemies, eternal enemies. So fighting the cult of Cyric is my main priority.
Yeah. No, I think the cult of Cyric is definitely the main priority if we stay in the city. I know that once we... I think, at least judging from what the masters have said about what lies beneath and what we are and where the cult is underneath us and the source, it just makes sense that we're both after the same thing. And I don't know what that thing is. But, well, I feel like if we don't do this in a wise sort of way, gather enough friends, then we'll be fighting two battles, I guess, at once. A war on two fronts, as if it will. So I think we need all the help we can get. And I guess I'll be kinder to everyone as we deal with these things, but it's definitely feel like we're wasting some time with the going back and forth, but in light of our most recent venture, I may be totally wrong.
Understand what you mean. I value your wisdom. We need it. My part, I can see no way forward other than finding what that evil is and confronting it directly. More and more, I feel like Leeward was right, and his recklessness was well-founded, so... The further I go in this direction, I think the more important your caution and your wisdom will be to temper me.
Yeah. Well...
I kind of smile at you, and I say, what do you think taught Leeward to be so reckless with those weapons in the first place?
Well, I think he took to your instructions all too well. Don't follow your own advice, I guess.
Try, but sure of my paladin oath at this moment has committed me toward actively fighting and destroying evil. DeMarcus's face kind of like gets more serious, and he says sort of loudly, Z, are you just kind of like behind all of us or what?
Yeah, but I'm listening.
Yeah, so he kind of like looks over his shoulder at you and he says, I'll be the more reckless one now because this group doesn't need two healers. One god has already committed one healer to this group, so I need to deal more damage and aggressively fight evil. Keeps talking to Vosner, and he says, Sorry. My stupid mic thing. Actually, that was it. I'll stop there, Vosner, if you have something.
Vosner nods and understandably, he says, well, if you want to do as much damage as possible, you're not going to do very much if you're dead. And I don't think that any more loss to this group would be entirely beneficial. So, keep yourself alive enough to be useful, I guess. You don't want to let your god down. And I kind of give you a little shove.
Yeah. DeMarcus says, I know, and trust me, I'm still a paladin, I still heal, I still take service and duty most seriously, and my duty to this group is to not be too reckless, so I'll try to keep myself in check. And then DeMarcus gets really serious, and he sort of leans into you and whispers, I was gonna smash that Shadow Blade's face in after the interrogation anyway.
It seemed like there was no stopping it. I guess he saw it too. So, unfortunately, we didn't get any information, but it wasn't fruitless.
Mind was rotten with evil anyway, he wouldn't have given us anything. I have interrogated much in the past with my duties with the Eternal in the Abyss, with the Order in the Abyss, and I hate evil, Vosner, and I always tried to destroy it. I just do it differently now and more proactively because responsibilities for protecting squads and groups are no longer binding. But I have to admit, since I only ever interrogate evil things, and I'm tasked with destroying evil, most of my interrogations are quite short.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's more like you talk to the owlbear or the oak tree, and they give you what they will, and then you just kind of you fill in the blanks. So, I don't know if I'm particularly useful, but you may have to keep them alive just a little longer. But whatever we need to do to get the job done, it's neither here nor there. But I'm always of the mindset, if they can be alive, keep them alive, I suppose. I guess this evil is a little too insidious. It would not be very wise if we kept them alive. So, that's it.
What's Zolda and Damon and Taryn doing at this moment?
Freaking out.
The encounter with the Crimson Rats in this way has kind of snapped Damon back to what he was doing when he first emerged from the sewers. So he's a little impatient to talk with Captain Damien and figure out what's going on with Miliardo, so they can come up with a concrete plan for the next steps for finding Peter.
Okay. Is Zolda doing anything before you get to Damien? Or Damien? Sorry.
No, she looks a little bit like she was crying, but she is mostly watching DeMarcus's facial expressions during this whole conversation and just kind of listening.
Taryn has kind of gone back into the slightly detached state he's been in since he's really gotten back.
Okay. Then all of you arrive at City Hall. The guard lets you in, even though you're carrying a corpse of a person, and Guard Captain Damien is there waiting for you. And he says, Bear Squad.
Yeah, sure.
I see you've had an encounter with the cultists again.
I show him. I take the cloth off of the body and I show him the face.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
I chime in. There was no fire this time, so there's that.
Well, it's hard to set a sewer on fire, isn't it?
I heard that once before today.
And he kind of looks at you with a knowing glance, yes, I know you guys were in the sewers with the criminals. And He takes the body of Joel and kind of puts it on this table here. And, like, removing the sheet, looks at the face, and, just says, like, Jesus, he was just a kid.
His brother wasn't too entirely merciful.
I don't know what kind of brother could kill his own brother, but apparently Peter
Martin
Lockwater
says
is
Peter
pretty far
Lockwater
gone.
is dead.
What was that, Damien? Or DeMarcus? Whatever D-name you are now?
Yo.
Dorian. It's me,
Dorian.
Dorian of Daramar.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you just like hiding yourself still?
I haven't really come across many people, like, I'm sort of, like, hooded, and I've got the disguise up.
Okay, so you look different.
Not really a lot that I could do in the combat and stuff.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure that, like, he wouldn't recognize you as DeMarcus. Okay, so
Clearly.
he turns to Isolde, who he thinks is, like, kind of the leader of the group, since he says,
So, how's the rest of the investigation going? Have you utilized the slip I gave you?
We haven't really had time, but we have found some information on the Lockwaters and a possible lead on the Vaudries being involved with the cultists as well.
William Vaudry is involved with the cultists now, too.
According to our sources, but most of the evidence that we're told exists is down in the sort of headquarters of the cultists now.
The cultists
where-
have a headquarters?
Something to that extent, yes. So, we will try our best to retrieve that evidence. In the light of all of this that is going on, obviously, you have spoken to Master Marin, I was told.
Yeah, he sent me a message.
We know for very certain now that Peter Lockwater is at least one of, if not the leader of the cultists, the cult of Sirik, is himself some sort of undead monstrosity. It is hard for me to imagine that Miliardo's trial can go on as planned before. I think the evidence is beginning to stack up that the Lockwaters are more likely the culprits.
Well, I hear you. Unfortunately, the evidence we found from Miliardo's hut indicates that he was making large payments to the Silver Crabs and the Lizard Thicket, which is also a known criminal organization. So regardless of his ties to the cult, he might just be hanged for his participation in organized crime.
Perhaps, but the payments that he was making to the Lizard's Thicket were just for a room.
Well, that's a good point. Given the evidence you've acquired through those letters, I suppose that does clear him of that. But the payments to the Silver Crabs are another matter. Unless you
What
know of
sort
anything.
Payments?
Monthly contributions to the Lee Wind.
Well, I know that he had one individual who was associated with the Silver Crabs, working as a bit of security on his ships from time to time. It might have something to do with that.
Would he be willing to come forward and write a statement?
I'm not sure. He was pretty grievously wounded and is recovering at the moment.
You can see he's like a little bit impatient with that response. Because just all the evidence, circumstantial evidence that you guys keep presenting, as well as bodies and stuff like that without necessarily proof of how it happened. Though, I suppose upon investigating further the corpse of Joel, he can tell that whatever hit him was like a very strange claw attack. So, it doesn't look like any of your weapons.
Is there a way that we could perhaps not... I would like to ask that Miliardo's trial be maybe delayed until we can get more information about the Vaudries, which is something that we will need some time on, but I understand that that can't be done indefinitely.
I can get you a few days, but if you're gonna find proof, you gotta do it quick. People want to, well, they want to see retribution.
And do you think that if we found sufficient evidence that William Vaudry was the one that brought the cults into Mostone, his punishment for that would satisfy the people?
Perhaps. The problem is that the cult is associated with a number of crimes in this city, and as it stands, the only one who has evidence for association with the cult is Miliardo. If you could find evidence that puts it in somebody else's camp, then that might, free Miliardo of his more heinous ties.
I mean, the idea that Peter Lockwater is part of the cult is not evidence enough.
I understand that you're trustworthy folk, but do you have any evidence to back up that claim?
I turned to Izzy. Don't you have a spell that allows you to speak with dead things?
Not today, but... DeMarcus, do you have any magic left?
Who, me? Dorian?
That's what I meant.
You're under arrest. No, I'm just kidding.
It's gonna happen eventually.
Dorian Gray! Oh, man.
I have 1 second level spell slot.
Would you be able to cast Zone of Truth on me?
Yes.
Look,
But
I get what you're trying to do.
I don't
I'm just
do it
saying,
anyway.
this doesn't count as testimony. That's just another... I believe you think you saw what you saw, but... I mean...
I think with Zone of Truth, like, you can say whatever you want. I just know if you're lying or not. So it would end up, for his perspective, it would just be me being like, no, I swear she's telling the truth, you know?
Right.
Alright, retcon that then. I misunderstood how the spell worked.
Yeah. If you could, Vosner's suggestion would be, like, speak with dead. So,
You already suggested that, but I don't have that spell.
that
Well,
I wonder if I...
look, if Peter Lockwater's really associated with the cult, and he's down there in the sewers, if you can bring him to me, dead or alive, in whatever weird form he's currently in, then that would probably be proof enough of his association. Then again, pinning the whole thing on William Vaudry is going to take a little bit more than that. I'm going to need actual evidence, documents, anything. Paper trail, gold.
I have a feeling that we can come find that.
Alright, well, good luck.
Damon is going to tell Captain Damien, one more thing, Captain. It may be nothing, but before cutting his brother down, Peter told him to have a little faith.
That doesn't mean anything to me. Does that mean something to you?
Not yet. I hope to make sense of it.
Alright. Well,
Thank you for your help, and we will try to get that information as quickly as possible.
righto. Alright. Well, good luck. And he, one of the guards carries the body of Joel, and then they walk away.
Is it pretty late right now? I can't remember.
Yeah,
what
it's
time
we'll say it's like evening, like 7 p.m. maybe.
Did we get like a concrete number on the amount of time that we can get to keep investigating?
Oh, he said he could buy you another day, and the trial was supposed to be, I think, in 2 days, so you're at like 3 maybe.
Okay.
Marcus says we should go back and tell Marin everything that's happened.
Yes, I think that is best. And she'll lead the way back to the guild unless anyone tries to stop her.
Damon's down to follow you back.
Osner is ready to go.
Did we lose John or something?
No, sorry. For some reason, my delete key is not working. It's a weird problem. I can't delete tokens. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Okay, it's only in Foundry. Jesus Christ. Well, shit. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll drop you here. And where's my...
Whoa. Gilding the Gilderstein.
So you guys come walking up the steps and find Marin greeting you, kind of standing on the threshold of the guild, in the sun, kind of soaking it in. And he says, "Bear Squad, well done. Your success has been already passed on to me."
Seems that our progress is not as satisfactory to all the parties involved, though. But thank you, Master.
Well, you must, everything takes time.
Marcus says kind of bluntly, do you have any advice or knowledge about how to capture or kill an undead Peter Lockwater?
Well, kill would be much easier than capture. I imagine whatever Peter Lockwater has become, he's not going to be capturable, and some sort of imprisonment might not be much of a punishment for something that lives eternally now. That said, I have some ideas about the killing. It appears that in their attempt to capture you down below, they were desperately trying to, well, complete the last bit of their mission. Our excavation of the lower half of the guild has been going well since Damon here told us how to peacefully shut down the sentinels that guard the entrances. We have made it all the way down to the 5th level of the guild. We have not cleared every level, and we will require guilds, squads to continue the excavation, but for now we can at least get to the lowest levels. On the 5th level, there is a door. I believe from reading Moltanus's notes that this door can only be opened with the help of Damon. I believe that the cultists have been trying to capture Damon in order to utilize him to open this door. If we can go down there, I believe we can kill all of the cultists before they accomplish their mission, and I believe we can finally set this whole thing to rest.
At least with the cultists.
Yes, I believe the cultists
Final
are our
battle.
primary concern. Whatever they're trying to get at underneath the guild, we too shall try to get, but we will prevent them from getting there first. Without Damon, I don't believe they can pursue much further, but it's entirely possible that they could kill the sentinels eventually through just brute force.
Whatever we do from now on, we have to keep Damon here and safe.
Well, that's probably a good idea, but we kind of need all hands on deck, which is why we'll be sending down guild masters on this as well.
How we, in regards to numbers and sending the masters down, how does the guild plan to do this without any more members being recruited and I guess several squads being disbanded?
Well, the squads that remain are powerful ones. Dragon Squad, yourself, Lion Squad, and Gopher Squad all represent very powerful leaders. People who are now not quite the level of guild masters, but not far away either. You all have grown so much in the past few months. And between all of us, I believe we can put this cult down for good and pursue to the next great mission of this enterprise.
Yes. Well, I guess at a free moment, I guess I would like to talk to you and maybe Tetherman about another dream that I received. Maybe you can help guide me in understanding that a bit, but maybe not now.
I would be glad to talk to you about your dream concerning the bridge, Vosner. But it is not as pressing as you might think. These things tend to predict things far away. It might not be pertinent to what we're trying to accomplish right now.
Understood.
When do we go down and try to open the door?
Sorry, what was that?
DeMarcus asks, when are we planning to go down to open the door?
We will not try to open the door until the guild has been the cult has been completely destroyed. We could not risk opening the door and then having the cult come in. They must be dealt with first.
Marcus's eyes kind of brighten and he says, so when do we assault the cult in the basements?
Well, Master Aaron and Gorok have already been scouting.
or sorry, Master Ander, so the fighter master. They've determined that there are ways to get to the 5th level, where Damon was actually held captive for a long time. The place where the cult broke in. There's an ancient set of sewers under there that we believe the cultists have already been scavenging in. And Gorok has done some excursions down there fighting with the cultists. He can't defeat them by himself. There are a lot of them. But perhaps in a day or two we will set out, depending on, how everything goes. It appears that you would need at least a day's rest. You look very tired.
I would prefer, if we can, to go tomorrow in the morning after we rest. I mean, the things that are down there in the sewers are the only things that can prove that the politics in this town are not for the protection of the people. They are being tricked. Miliardo is being framed. There is a lot of truth down in those sewers.
Yes, but there's also a lot of death, and I would hate for it to fall upon you and your squad. We must be careful. Whoever runs the cult is probably very powerful. Maybe more powerful than I am.
Marcus says this is a central battle between good and evil, and Cyric himself is probably assisting them in such endeavors.
That is entirely possible, though given what we know of Cyric, I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but the matters of the gods are outside of the scope of mortal understanding.
Never take Cyric's trickery for granted, Master Marin.
I suppose not.
It's pretty clear from Izzy's face that she kind of didn't have a way of conceiving someone more powerful than Master Marin.
Sure.
And she seems surprised at that statement.
Yeah. Well, you don't exactly know how powerful Marin is. You have seen him do some high-level shit. And, the only person you've encountered that you've got the vibe that they might be more powerful is, the arch, druid, Arcanus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perhaps the teleportation wizard from Daramar, who he was kind of deferential toward.
Oh, she's powerful, but
Lyra?
Lyra,
Okay.
yeah, you don't get the vibe that she's like Marin tier wizard, but she's up there.
What about Rusty? Do you seem powerful?
Rusty does actually. He probably could take Marin in a fight.
Just a little flex here and there.
Yeah, what's Dusty up to? What's Brett up to? God.
Yeah.
Who
I was
knows?
looking for some crumbs, like a little trail, but nothing so far.
I just assumed
Now
he
we
was.
would go down.
It's just making dope clothes.
When we go down, he's just like the sole guy in front of the door, just like, oh, hey!
I mean, that's all entirely possible.
Don't ruin it. So are we going in the guild to rest then?
Yeah, if you guys want to finish it up there, that would be fine. I don't know. This seems like a decent stopping point, but
How late is it in the day?
let's say 8 p.m. by the time you get to the top of the guild.
you now.
Taryn will probably spend the evening in the library then.
Okay. What are you looking for?
He's going to be looking for things on the relationship between Dragonborn and dragons, and things on local dragons.
Okay.
And I want Vosner to continue to research the Shadowfell and see if there are, I don't know, I guess the string theory version of himself, so like Shadowfell druids? I don't know
Okay.
if that's a thing.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have some of that shit prepared for you guys next time then.
Cool.
Marcus, as Tyrion and Vosner are kind of like walking away, and it seems clear that they're going to go do research stuff, he looks at Isolde and he says, "Come to the Hall of Gods and pray with me."
Alright. Yeah. And I'll follow DeMarcus.
And Damon, you can do what you want to do.
Yeah. Damon is gonna ask Master Marin if there's anything specifically that he's found that he needs to be doing to prepare, if there's any specific tasks that he needs to know to do, and what he can do to prepare for that.
Yeah, so just standard combat stuff for the next session, but nothing like explicit. He does have a conversation with you about the process of closing and opening portals, which you did a little bit with Katari, and you guys kind of like nail that down, and I'll just put that like in your spell book. That's kind of like a homebrew thing, since there's not like a lot on this. But yeah, the ability to close and open a portal. It has to be in a place where a portal is already like keyed in, you like, because of the magic of the area that's already been like inscribed into the like architecture. But yeah, it's something you can like activate, turn on and off.
Yeah, because Damon's gonna like probably spend some time like going through the spells he knows then, and maybe readjusting with new things to replace stuff that he hasn't found that useful.
Sure, yeah.
Out on the surface, that's fine.
Absolutely, yeah, go for that. Yeah, anything you want to do with that's fine with me. Marin would be happy to like help you inscribe new things in your spell book, or whatever you need to do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll like probably end up kind of researching some of that, and also looking at the ones I already know. Like, I just haven't used absorb elements at all, and shield has pretty much been the most useful thing.
Yeah, shield's amazing.
Front. So probably like even just at least as a baseline, replace absorb elements with magic missile or something. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay. Well, do we want to call it there, guys?
You can, Isolde, if you want to do RP stuff right now, you can, or we can save it for next
Oh
time.
yeah, I mean, I'm not on any like super time constraint, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have like a whole conversation to have with DeMarcus.
Maybe we should start the next session with that, because that seems like a good. I don't know.
I don't want
it.
I don't want it to be like rushed or crunched or anything, because
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
important stuff.
Yeah, Damon also did want to, like, when the squad was all together again, mention that with time running out on Miliardo's front, that if they can't complete the investigation, they may need to find a way to get Peter to come to them.
Tricky.
That's a good point. Okay, well, let's, I guess, call it there, and then we'll start up here next time. You guys will basically begin in before you go to bed, I guess, will be the starting point for the next session. All right. I had no idea how all that shit was gonna go. Damon is difficult to grapple.
that was like I only like initiated combat because I felt like I had this nuclear option of fireballing myself or threatening to.
I
If,
thought you were going to. I thought you were
Me
gonna
too.
fucking fireball the whole room twice.
Yeah, no, I was. That's why I was hanging on to that last third level spell slot because I was like, if we're like all about to die or whatever, I will hold my own life hostage.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was kind of wondering if Damon was just gonna be like, there's enough bad guys amongst the good guys in the center of that room, just nuke it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, no,
with action surge, you can do 2 fireballs in 1 turn.
Yeah, I mean, it did occur to me to just like
Yeah.
take everyone out, especially since Bear Squad was all on one side basically.
Yeah. It does, not to like be too meta, but like with people like Johoff in the middle of the room, it doesn't really matter because he's got like evasive shit where like if he succeeds on the deck save, then he doesn't take any damage. So like if it was Johoff in the center of the room and you know somebody else who's got high saving throws, like the chance of you nuking and destroying all the little minions is probably actually substantially higher than like actually hurting your team that much. So something to consider.
For sure, yeah.
It's calm, calculative, utilitarian robot determines the greatest good is to do that much damage to the entire
Yeah.
room.
And he,
Oh, no.
and he hates Crimson Rats, so it did. It was like, man, it would be nice to just roast all of these guys right now.
Yeah.
Damn. It was pretty kick-ass combat there.
Yeah.